welcome to tonight's coverage of the Full-Length Cup Challenge. This evening, we're excited to bring you action from iRacing's virtual Phoenix Raceway here on Maconi Entertainment. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the top split for Maconi Fixed Series and Fast Fridays. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Prince. Alongside the booth tonight is Kirk Mills, with DJ Lyon producing for this evening's action from the desert. Getting all set to go for our first short track of the season here, Kirk. So far, we've seen 2 super speedways and a road course, but tonight it's our first 1-mile circuit.
First short track of the season. Very exciting here at Phoenix. We got the dog leg, like 9 lanes deep. You could go into turn out of the final corner and into that little dog leg. It's going to be crazy racing compared to what we've seen, and definitely is going to have some people come to the cream of the top. As now we're going to zoom in here on it. It is in Avondale. How do you pronounce that? Avondale. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a beautiful looking racetrack. 8 to 11 degrees of banking in the turns. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Having these drivers come out here, they have all been worried sick about how slick the actual track is here. And it's going to be a hard track to master.
It's going to be an interesting night, to say the very least. And so far in the driver's standings, 3 different winners to start the season. Getter started things off at Daytona, Atlanta with Owen Hodgson, and then he had Andrew Dyson pick up the win last time out after showing great speed in his car at Coda. Now, team-wise, things did shuffle. Fortes fell down to second in the standings. RH Motorsports as a team, now the top organization coming into Phoenix. Dirty South also showed great performances with Dyson behind the wheel. That's seen their team shoot within 101 points for the team title. Some interesting things to keep an eye on for the standings as we move through the night.
Oh yeah, very happy to see it. We got a very active group of people up in the front. Ralph Hutchinson Motorsports, that is the RH Motorsports, just took over the lead. That whole camp's very excited and happy about that, but they're more excited about getting this thing started here tonight.
Speaking of starting, let's take a look at the starting lineup. It's Patrick Gitter on the pole tonight. Alongside him, Christopher Hill. Row number 2. That's going to feature last week's race winner Andrew Dyson and your Atlanta winner Nolan Hodgson in the top 4. Then it's Lucas Hoitzma starting alongside Derek Heitman. Heitman, one of the fast drivers throughout each of the races so far this season on the ovals. Cameron Stone starts alongside Robert Miller. Miller led the way in final practice. Adam Benefield starts at 9th, and Clayton Hoffman, your top 10.
And starting in the 11th place spot, Ralph Hutchinson. We were just talking about him taking the points lead. Here comes Jeremy Miller, and that's for the team points. Putting that out there. Matt DiCiani is going to start 13th, with 14th being Johan Seminario, coming back after a week off. Starting in the 15th place spot, we got Bobby Anderson, owner of the league. We'll see how he stacks up. Sean O'Brien starting in the 16th place spot. 17th will be Dustin Halt, and to his outside, very fast car, Jonathan Delaney. Gonna see if he can make it his way all the way up to the front. Hunter Truell starting in 19th spot, with Shane P. Davis starting to his outside in 20th.
21st spot tonight goes the way of Dave Hoitzma. Brendan Hastings deep in the field, 22nd. We'll see if he'll fly. Matthew Long looking to do the same alongside Mark Padgett in the 24th spot. Chad Center starts alongside Corey Cook. Cook making his first start of the season. Jordan Pearson starts alongside Jason S. Taylor. Jason S. Taylor looking for a solid night tonight. Ryan Strunk doing the same. Paul Hill showed good speed last week. He'll start 30th.
31st will be Stephen Williams, and to his outside, Tanner Marty in the 32 car. 33rd will be Billy Brickley. To his outside was Dylan Fritz in 34th. Starting in the 35th spot will be Cameron Thompson, and to his outside will be William Owens. Starting there, 37th, Victor Fluger. And 38th will be Evan Mesnard. 39th will be Kevin Zosiak, with the 40th starting position being Thomas Kulmacheski. Rounding out the following 5 is going to be Alex Princeton in 41st, Tyler Hunter in 42nd. 43rd will be Armin Zwan Petrovic, and rounding out the field starting 44th will be Devin Medeiros.
Let's look on to bottom of the running order here tonight. Here from Phoenix, big note, Christopher Hill did not make the start and appears to not be at the racetrack at the moment. So one of your contenders for the race win tonight, not here. Here's your Maconi Center Shop race analysis for this evening. 312 laps like the Cup Series tomorrow. The stages 60 and lap 185 here tonight. Remember, open setups in this series, and tonight we'll see really where the setups lie here at Phoenix. Just about all set to go for the FLCC from iRacing's Virtual Phoenix Raceway. Happy to have you with us here on Maconi Entertainment. On the front row, it's Gitter. Alongside him, it's Hudson. Heading to the start box to begin things from the desert. Green flag is out. We're underway from Phoenix.
And here comes the dogleg. They are not allowed to go down there until they hit the start-finish line, and they fan out. Everybody's everywhere, and heading into turn number one. Looks like they get through the dogleg cleanly to start things off, as they are 3 wide back in the pack. But up front, Patrick Gitter is going to take the advantage, as right behind him, Nolan Hodgson's going to fall into that second-place spot with Andrew Dyson falling in third. That's the first 3 cars, and there is some contact in the back of the pack, spreading out towards the rear. We're looking now at the 26 of Hill, I believe, driving there, coming out to complete lap number 1. Again, that was led by Patrick Gitter. Let's take a look at that replay.
Corey Cook was the one that brought up smoke as he was sent sideways in the heart of the pack. Cook had started this race off at about 25th position. Keep an eye on him once we get to the corner exit of turn 2.
Take a look here. We going through the corner just fine so far. Light contact from Hill sends him loose, but he's able to hang on to the car. He had some help with getting hit there, but he's going to have a little bit of damage, and instead of starting up in the top 20, he's going to drop back to the back 30s.
Yeah, that smokes the tires as well. Looking at the drivers towards the front of the field. Right now, out of Benefield, one of the Conti cars trying to make a move on the nitro entry. Others like Hoytsma just wrapping the bottom. You see some of these drivers just getting into a rhythm in the short run, trying to set up that long run on the tires.
Yep, a lot of drivers have been talking to me before the race started about what their setups was made for. A lot of these guys did not make it for the short run speed. A lot of these guys made it for the long run speed. So drivers like Bobby Anderson, they had their setups built for the long run. They're not anticipating being up in the front unless we get a long green flag run. And that's what they're looking for. And that's what a lot of the drivers were hoping for. But a lot of them were fearful that we'd see cars around early like we already saw. Luckily, that didn't bring out a caution. And we are able to continue going under green as we're looking at the battle now. That looks between the 8 car and Beneful's there as well. They're all battling in that one section there. I believe that is for the 10th place spot, trying to hang on to the stage points.
Gary Miller is amongst that battle you see on the high side. And you can defend pretty well from the high side, although you do have that dog leg to be able to battle things down the front straight away, to be able to send things for 1 and 2 in particular. There's the defensive maneuver for Miller. Keeping them dead even. By the way, Delaney, who's in this battle, already up 6 spots. Delaney looking very fast in the first 5 or so laps.
For sure, Delaney is able to do that. He's one of the drivers that we expect to see up front. He just didn't have the qualifying effort he wanted. He got a little loose going off 4 during his qualifying lap, which is what ended up putting him back a little further than he was expecting. But now he's going to have to do the hard work to get through these guys, as he's now up to the back bumper of Ralph Hutchinson, who's right now running in the 11th place spot, as Miller prevailed in that battle we saw a moment ago. They're now out of the corner again. Johan Seminario battling back there with Patrick, I think that's Hall, actually, rather, Dustin Hall. They have now settled in, and it looks like the entirety of the top, say, 20 are already single file.
And mind you, a lot of drivers just using a little bit of the dog leg. They aren't using significant usage of that dog leg here tonight. Remember back when there was the old configuration with the start and finish line of what's now the back straightaway, a lot of drivers will go try and get as low as they can to the dog leg. These days, with the way these chassis handle across the bump with the dog leg, most drivers are just taking a little bit of it, maybe a couple seams down at most.
Every single one of them was worried about spinning out in that dog leg because of the transition is so aggressive that it just makes these cars get uncomfortable. These things just want to spin out the moment you hit that bump the wrong way. So they are very hesitant to go down there too much. But they will still use a slight amount of it to be able to make some time. And if you cut that dog leg entirely and you don't end up spinning out, you gain a lot of time. So there's a lot of time to be gained here, as we're still looking for the battle for 14th right here. Johan Seminario and Dustin Hall trying to make a move there. Hall down to the bottom this time. See if that would work for him. It looks like it will. Johan Seminario drops back a spot. Dustin Hall move him up to 13th. Sorry, correction, 14th.
Still +3 on the race so far as he tries to keep his Conti car moving the right direction. Seminario, seeing him battle at the moment, one of the designers when it comes to paint schemes of the God Racing Service. Shane Davis also trying to make up some early ground here. Mind you, some drivers like Komacheski already up 12 positions there in the 20s. A lot of other competitors just trying to get the speed built up, try and get the rhythm going here. It's a very rhythmistic short track where if you don't get a good pattern down, you can go backwards quickly.
Exactly. You want to make sure you don't burn the right rear off or burn the right front off, because a lot of the time these guys are either set up really, really tight to try and make sure they don't spin out when they go across the dog leg, and that burns up the right front to the point where you're going to have trouble steering into the corners and having great drive off. We're looking on board with Derek Heitman, but most of these guys, I think, up front are just trying to maintain pace. Relax right now. You're in a points paying position. Stay where you are. Relax. Make sure you take care of those tires. There's no need to go way down in the dog leg too far. These guys are just using the second lane, which is pretty average for most of the drivers. But then you mentioned Thomas Kulmacheski, who's right now running back in 28th. So he had a bad qualifying effort. We spoke together prior to this race starting. And in that old Dale Jr. homage, the AMP Energy car, Dale Jr. ran back in the 2008 to about like 2011, I think, is when he had that paint scheme running. Very popular paint scheme, but he told me that he was very much wanting to go from the back to the front today. He wanted to do one of those Herculean charges through the field. So he's already up to 28th. We'll see if he's able to continue that charge for the rest of this race.
A long way to go for some of these drivers. That's the understatement of the day so far, as we see some of the battling going on across the field. At this point, too, you have to remember that for the most part, these people are going to be keeping the same gearing here, not going to be short shifting like you might see at, say, Martinsville later on this season. Just trying to keep things balanced out when it comes to the gearing. Most of these drivers try to maximize those revs to the corners.
And some tracks you do have to shift. Yeah, like Martinsville, like you mentioned, you want to be able to get down to help you whenever you make a mistake in some cases. But Phoenix is one of those tracks you can go either way. You can choose to shift. In practice, I was listening to some of the cars to see if they were doing that exact thing. And I only heard like maybe 2 or 3 drivers who had setups that were involving shifting. And I think that could be for qualifying runs, or at least trying to get fastest lap, because if you're trying to save your tires, you're not going to do that. You're going to stay out here and you're going to try your best to be able to just stay in one gear. Don't abuse the rear end, the rear tires, and just try to keep it straight. You don't need to worry about getting that extra 10th too much unless you absolutely want to go charging through the field. But you got to remember, we don't got just a short sprint here. We're going all the way here, a full length of a race. So these guys have got to make these tires last, which is why they're driving so cautiously right now. It looks like that we got a looker here. We had the Dustin Hall machine here being challenged here by the 79 car of Shane P. Davis, trying to make a move on him. I think Davis is a little interested in taking that spot away. He's not quite there yet. He made a look earlier. We'll see if he does it again here. Yes, he certainly does, as Dustin goes up out of the groove, and he's going to try and turn down and get the run off the corner, which I think he'll allow him to hang on to that particular spot. But yeah, battling goes on throughout this field. But this is just the highest up spot that there is with some battle going on. The top 2 have maintained their speed as we're on board now with Andrew Dyson. He's looking like he's having a great time. Look at him. He's right there. He's focused, confident. I'm sitting in 3rd. I feel pretty dang good. Don't bother me. I'm busy. That's what he's thinking in his head right now. But very happy to see that he's doing a great job for that team.
Yeah, again, backing up the speed from last week. 30 South Entry looking extremely fast. Harrody's got the Ryco power plant underneath the hood for the 41 machine, and kind of backing up the speed that car has. We've seen Heitman, who's also essentially in that same realm of speed, keeping up with him at the moment. Great run for Noah Hodgson, by the way, who's still holding on to second and continuing to pressurize for the race lead here with Patrick Kidder in the 12 machine up the road. Some good speed so far for the 12. He's backed up what we've seen on the super speedways. He's looking really good this season on the non-super speedways.
Yeah, he certainly is. It's actually surprising because he said it himself. He was a little worried about coming out here, but he seems to be doing it quite well, running right there in the second place spot. I will need to let you guys know, as we see him right here, this was Atlanta's winner. He's always happy. He puts on that VR headset, and he's a happy guy. That's just what he is. He's a good guy. He's chasing down Gitter, and I think he has the fastest lap so far, but being able to maintain speed with Gitter is what I've noticed on his lap times. He's right now about running maybe less than 1/100th of a second slower, so they're going to maintain for a while. We'll see if he's able to hang on to that or if the pit Gitter will be able to get away. But I do want to mention that we have a driver by the name of Tyler Hunter who is now sitting in pit lane, currently last on the grid. Not sure exactly why, but it looks like he pit in, and that's a little unusual to say right now. We'll find out and see what's going on with him. I'll see what's going on.
It looks like the motor's off. He's out of the car. He had been running at the very back in last spot. So it looks like he may have pulled off the racetrack after the early going, starting 42nd. Now, look at some of the other drivers like Cameron Stone looking really solid this season as well. We've seen him have about top 15 speed at COTA, having top 10 speed here tonight, running in the 8th position.
Cameron Stone is one of those guys that's going to do everything he can to be to the front if he can avoid the accidents. Unfortunately, at Atlanta, he got involved in every single one of them, it seemed like, to the point where he got DQ'd. So, but this week and this week he's back and he's doing really well, running top 10. That's points paying position right now to race into the stage here. But he's in a good spot. He got a guy who's definitely really aggressive on his tail and has a lot of respect for him as well. That's Adam Benefel. Behind him, you can see him in the mirror, and right in front of them, he's trying to catch to the back end. He's only about 3 seconds off the leader here, so not too far back. Just trying to make sure he gets to the end of this particular race. Doing a great job, to say the least. But yeah, his paint scheme looks very similar to last week, and definitely a beautiful looking thing. He says he likes that new flavor they have. I think it was blackberry is what he had on that car. For Zen, so definitely showcasing that ability to make. Oh, that one might say cinnamon. Let me look at that. He may have changed his paint scheme again, but I think he's doing all the flavors of Zen every week, it looks like.
Early doing a solid job, no matter what you can say, to that speed so far indeed. It's been a very calm race so far, I will say so far, Kirk, for the most part. Track position started really lock itself in. If you start with track position, you'd likely kept track position. If you're amongst some of those in the mid-pack, scratch and claw, you move your way ahead. It seems like one of those races tonight where the longer the run goes, the harder it will be to make some passes.
Long run is going to really show what type of setup you got and what type of driver you are, because it is easy. It doesn't matter how good your setup is. It is easy to drive off one of the tires and just burn it to the ground in 30 laps, as we're about to come up on lap 30 here in just a couple laps from now. But it is 100% possible for that to happen at any given point. So not sure exactly what the drivers would do in those situations other than pit early and hope to God that they don't get lapped. But when you pit here, you do get lapped. So there's no flipping the stage like we saw last week at COTA. With these guys, their main job is to be able to maintain speed, make sure all 4 tires are staying under them. And, the ones that are abusing their tires will become evident. Oh, contact 81. He gets into the 60 car. He saves that race car. I believe that's Taylor there. Hangs on to it. And I tell you what, he's probably not very happy about that contact. Again, that's Jason Taylor having some contact with the 81 car of Brandon Hastings. Let's take a look at that. I think Hastings sent it in on him pretty good, and the 60 was able to get by. I mean, they were even coming through that little section there. 60. Oh, 81 flung his rear end a little bit towards him, and then 81 just didn't make the corner and just knocked him up and out of the way, and 81 kept going. So racing incident, I think, but I'm sure that Taylor will have a different view of that for sure when they get back to the bumper.
That moves Taylor back to the 23rd spot as a result of that slide. Jedi able to hold on to it for the time being, though. So it's regrouped. But it's side by side, and a good example of what you were talking about just up the road with that hit to the dog leg. Paget had to hold on to the car. That 0-2 bobbled a little bit in that side by side we just seen here.
And then remember, this is all happening very far behind the leaders. They're entering turn 1 as these guys are going through the dogleg. Paget and Hastings and Taylor, they're going to be 3 wide here. That's pretty good. Here we go. Let's see who prevails here. Paget's going to have a little bit of an advantage. Into the corner. Looks clean so far. Paget's going to lose that advantage rather quickly, and Hastings going to have a run off as Taylor's going to get tight. Look out, Paget. He let him in. What a very kind showing there. But now Kulmacheski and Paul Hill, these guys are coming up on Paget and saying, hey, don't check up like that. We're going to make a move on you if you do. They're all there. Tanner Marty's here. Jordan Pearson. These guys are all in this little pack here. They all want to get involved in this little battle. So it looks like that these guys are all very similar in terms of speed. And they're 3 wide now with Hill and Kulmacheski. Kulmacheski has to let off to be able to hang on to that spot. Then this is back in the back 20s, which is the only battle that I'm seeing currently on the track in the top 20, with the exception of Jeremy Miller and Johan Seminario currently battling for the 13th place spot. Seminario's trying the bottom here.
See that right here now on screen. Seminario alongside of the Conti car, the premier entry for Miller, and Jeremy Miller is going the wrong way. He again loses a spot here to one of the Conti machines. The Conti cars are starting to wake up a little bit. It looks like some of those drivers. Bobby Anderson is also in this mix.
The long runs are starting to show those that were ready to set up the right way. And it looks like here that Jeremy's going to be now under fire by a driver who told me specifically his car was made for a long run. That's Bobby Anderson in that 5 car, paying homage back to Kyle. I think Kyle Busch drove that paint scheme. A few other drivers drove that paint scheme back in 07, 08, 06 in that time frame. Beautiful race car, and he always likes that 5 style. So we'll see what he's able to do. But he's definitely all over the rear bumper now. Trying to make a move on 14th. He's making a move down to the bottom. They're even as they enter turn number 1. We'll see if he's able to hang on to it. He does, and guess who just dive bombed into it? That's Shane P. Davis now on the bottom of Miller, trying to hold him steady, trying to make a move on him as well. Jeremy's just dropping back like a rock at this point. He must have burned up a tire or something, but he's definitely not maintaining his pace that he had earlier in the race.
Notice he's looking very loose off some of these corner exits. The car just wanting to swing around, and now continues to migrate the wrong way. Tanner Marty amongst those trying to move ahead in that battle that we were keeping an eye on, involving drivers like Pearson, Kocheski trying to use the outside in this group. You also have in the mix as well here Cameron Thompson. Thompson near contact to the 88. And able to drive up Kocheski. Kocheski getting boxed in. He was as high as 25th before all this kicked off here.
Yeah, we got a bottleneck starting up right here, and it looks like, hey, ooh, hang on to it. Jordan Pearson just almost lost that race car, went down onto the apron, almost spun the dang thing, held on to it, great save. But yeah, they're starting to get real loose. They're starting to fight at the wheel as we take a look at this replay here. Here he comes out of the turn number 4 and crossing the stripe, just got loose. Nobody hit him. He saved it. Great job hanging on to that race car. But that's definitely going to keep that right rear a little warmer than he'd like it as they head out of the corner now to complete lap number 39 into lap 40 here in a moment.
Still working our way quickly. Round 21 to go in the stage with how things are going so far. Cruising through this race so far. For those, a bit of a bobble in contact. Thompson into the inside wall. Thompson locks it down. Keeps it going enough, though, to avoid a caution flag.
He's going to send him to the back, though. Definitely not something he wanted to see. All the cars are getting loose in that back section there. Let's take a look at the 13 here. Did he get loose just like everybody else? Let's see. Going down through the dog leg. Looks fine. I don't see him getting loose yet. Let's see how he gets around here. Going through turns 1 and 2, side by side, looks fine, no problems here. And it just, I think that was a slight amount of net code between him and Kulmacheski. Very slight, if any. So I don't really think that was on purpose by Kulmacheski, but a slight amount of net code, or the computer thinks that you're in a certain spot when you're not, and so that's what that is. When they say net code, it's the prediction code saying, hey, I think this person is here. It's just an internet connection thing. His Hill goes way out of the groove. He's up against the wall. He keeps it going, but he lost about 8 or 9 spots doing that.
Yeah, now, this is one works our way around here again. Keeping an eye on Brennan Hastings still on screen. He's now losing a lot of ground as this run goes on, also looking like he's loose. Kulmacheski back to 25th as well. And Kulmacheski might be someone to keep an eye on for the later stages of this race if he's able to back up the speed he's been showing for the short to mid. Now for the start of the long run, he might be able to do something, be able to maybe get himself in the conversation later. Speaking of conversations, Seminario trying to get alongside Anderson. Anderson looking on the outside. They have Rolf Hutchinson in front, DeCiani as well.
That long run speed, we were talking about it, he's showing it now. Bobby's definitely making the outside work, which is an unusual thing to say here at Phoenix. He's able to carry some speed up on there on the outside, and he's able to get past these guys in a way that they can't normally run that high. So saving that race car for the right time, and he's definitely doing it. Right now battling side by side with Hutchinson, as it looks like he will prevail. Cameron Stone just slammed on the brakes there, and that put him back. I think that's the battle for 10th here now. As they cross the stripe, that will put them in, let's see, 11th. The battle for 11th right now.
Anderson having to take some evasive action, yeah. Cam Stone starting to fade back a little bit in the later stages of this run, as Anderson does now complete the pass on the 8. And now Anderson's in the wall. He hit the wall trying to go under braking.
Yep, that'll do it. They're now set 3 wide. Hang on to 4 wide for a second. They're the 28 dived way down onto the bottom of the racetrack, and he's pulling up even with Johan Seminario. Not a bad move from 15th up to 13th. Past 2 guys just like that in one swing. But Cameron Stone, yeah, he is getting loose. So you can see him fighting the wheel on the inside of that car. We're looking back now at Johan Seminario in the battle with the 28 car of Matthew Long. Side by side, and behind them also Ralph Hutchinson lost a couple spots here. He went from running up in, I think, 11th place spot now back to 15th, so he is also dropping like a rock right now. Stone as well just does not seem to have the speed. I think both those guys are starting to burn up their stuff, and they're gonna start moving to the back here. They might have fast short run cars, so we'll keep an eye on that for whenever the end of the race comes around, but definitely not something they have for the long run.
Yeah, that 57's getting very wiggly and now pushes up the racetrack this time. Cam Stone going the wrong way, seems to have burnt up the tires as he tries to let people go, find a hole back in line with the way things are looking. Still coming up to 12 to go in the stage. These drivers just a few laps away from fresh tires.
They could choose if they'd like to come down. I'm not sure exactly when we're going to be able to see them come down. Just a few laps away, it sounds like. We'll mention that Nolan Hodson lost second place about 13 laps ago to Andrew Dyson. It was a simple, I think Hodson noticed that Dyson was faster and just let him go. So not much of a battle there for the second place spot. Now they have separated themselves by almost a second. We're now looking at the battle here. Hutchinson squeezing Miller up against the wall there. That was a little tactic, I guess you could say, he used to try and keep him side by side through turn 4, and now onto the front straightaway through the dog leg. We'll see what they're able to do. It's coming down to the nitty gritty, and they got to be able to hang on to what they got. And there's battles all over this dang racetrack because that 8 car just really can't get by Miller.
Yeah, has to reset. Trying to make the pass low side, and that's why the outside's so good defensively. It's that pinch down. We see drivers be able to pull off to be able to slow down that car to the inside. Looking at Hutchinson's camera now, corner of your screen. See him just dialed up and focused heavily on the setup. Be able to try and get smoothly through these corners to reset.
Wearing gloves, always loose. Hang on to it, brother. Every one of them is like having that problem where they're almost spinning it off the corner. They are trying so hard to hang on to that car. Let's watch him as he comes through here. We'll watch his hands. He's gonna turn right to go straight. That guy, whew, man, he's just trying his best. And again, this is Ralph Hutchinson we're talking about, current team owner of the team that's leading him in the points is Truell. Makes a move down to his bottom. They're side by side now, battling for that 17th place spot. Not quite in the top 10, but definitely just trying to hang on and battle here for fun. Here comes the 71 trying to make some moves.
Oh, and Hutchinson had to get out of the gas. Just about drove it into the wall. That lets the 71 go. Hutchinson dropping down to 18th as a result of that tight moment there for the 8 car. And noticing a lot of these drivers are going to have potentially a lot to think about, potential adjustments. What can they adjust when it comes to these pit stops, do you think, to try and find some speed here?
They realize the cars are loose, so it sounds like right now that what they need to do is tighten those cars up. However they do that, they're good. They know how to do it. They've been racing here long enough. It seems like they can head down in the pits, make some adjustments, make those cars rotate a little bit more a little bit more on entry, less on exit. That's what they want. A little less on a little more on entry, a little less on exit. As it looks like Dyson now, I believe. Let me make sure that is. No, it's DeCiani. Correction, DeCiani in the 28 as well. Battling here. That's a pretty good battle that we see for position. They are side by side through the dog leg. Long, Matthew Long on the bottom has an advantage as they head through, and that is for stage points right there. So that puts him up to the 10th place spot. That means Matthew Long might be getting here at a stage point if he's able to hang on for a little bit longer.
Just has to be able to hold off drivers like DeCiani. DeCiani last time by at 29.5. Looking up the road, Lucas Weitzma trying to pressurize the back end of the 76 of Heitman. Need to close up a little bit to get up there. There are lapping cars here. They have lap by Medeiros, so they do have some lap traffic to play a factor to close up the run. Under 5 to go in the stage.
Yep, they're going to run into a couple more cars, I think, before the end of this stage. Perhaps these guys are doing very good at managing, and they're not that many. There's maybe like one more I think they'll reach before the end of the stage. But we got Dyson here as catching Patrick Gitter. He is now on the rear bumper within a car length. I think Dyson actually might pass Gitter. This is for the lead, by the way. So this is up front, coming to the end of the stage, top 2, right under a blanket. And also, while these two are racing, I do want to give an update on Tyler Hunter, the driver that we saw in the pits early in this race. I reached out to him and his team, and they stated that they had some contact in the first corner and ended up getting up into the wall, broke a toe link, had 14 minutes of damage, and he just wanted to call it a night after that, after his wheel was pointed to the 10 o'clock position.
That was that situation, but we're coming up to 2 laps to go on the stage. Traffic staying to the high side as Dyson tries to build up a run, try to set things up. Looks to try and use the arc, just avoids the lap traffic. So he looks to find a way to get to the bumper.
How's he going to be able to get around him? It's time to find out. I'm excited. You're excited. Here he goes down to the bottom into turns 3 and 4. Dyson has the spot. Gitter's going to hang on to it. Slight contact there, door to door. Dyson's loose, trying to hang on to that wheel. Caution's out.
Caution's already out as Dyson gets loose. We had a crash in turn 1. Billy Brickley went around on a slide with Brandon Hastings. And that is the stage. Patrick Gitter will win stage 1 after a big slide involving Hastings and Brickley's contact.
Take a look at this one. Here comes Brickley through that little dog leg there. Oh, Hastings was sideways and collected Brickley. Brickley had nothing to do with that. Not his fault at all. Locked her down and just barely. Oh, no, he hit the wall on his own afterwards. But he just barely stayed out of the wall. And that 81 must have just got loose as they're all now on pit road, going to have some pit stops right now.
So stage one looked like this. Gitter, Dyson, Hodson, Heitman, Lucas Hoitzma, then Delaney, Hoffman, Miller, Lawn, Adam Benefiel. Got the last spot at the time of the stage caution. Should see 4 tires and fuel for the entire field.
I've never seen I just noticed that car's right rear tire was rotating while it was up in the air. That was a little interesting to say the least. Patrick Gitter, though, winner stage one. Will he win this battle off a pit road? He barely will. Kevin Zosiak came off really quickly and ended up getting to a spot that I think he may have missed his pit stall. I mean, I'm not sure exactly where he came from. He wasn't running up front most of this run, and now he's just jumped up a couple spots just like that. Now it most certainly was an issue. He's going to come back down, so that still puts the 60 car, Patrick Gitter, up towards front.
That quick break. You're watching Maconi Entertainment for coverage of the full-length Cup Challenge from Phoenix.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to Phoenix Raceway for more coverage of the Maconi Fix Series, or rather I should say the Full Length Cup Challenge here on Maconi Entertainment, mixing myself up there. But we're getting ourselves all set to go for the restart here tonight, as Ryan Strunk and Alex Princeton did not pit. They will start on the front row. Princeton is not even close to being lined up in the front row. Back underway.
This is not going to be pretty. Princeton stays up to the outside along with Strunk. Both of them staying up top. Everybody else going down into the dog leg. Go into turn number 1. Those two are staying up there in the third lineup in the marbles. This is going to be interesting to see if they're able to hang on to it as the battle for second now puts Dyson up to second with Hodgson dropping back as a couple cars going to the wall. That is the 71 of Strunk hit the wall slightly coming out of the corner. They hang on to it. And looks like those two cars are rocks, and they are falling very quickly. They're going to be 4 wide here through the dog leg for a couple of more spots. I don't see any issues quite yet. They're staying pretty clean, which is nice to see so far. No mistakes yet. Now they are still battling 3 wide as the 19, and Strunk just dropped back like rocks.
Black flag, Noah Hodgson went below the yellow line coming to the start and finish line. So he went too early down, cutting the dog leg. The 12 is in pit road for a black flag. There goes the top 3 for him as he's 3 wide of the heart of the field. Komacheski up the middle in this shot.
They're just trying to get everything that they can get. They realize now how fast this track gets strung out, and cars are. It's going to take a long time for folks to be able to come back. And you got to feel for Nolan. He just one slight mistake is really a big deal here. So you want to do everything you can to try and get by and to try and make the right decisions and stay perfect, but not everybody can do that. He's already has a win on the year. He's already in the playoffs, so shouldn't feel too bad, but he's definitely going to have to bounce back from this.
Look at some of the errors bouncing off the wall a little bit. Dustin Hall that time getting a scrape to the outside wall. Cam Stone, decent on the short run, pushes. Oh, we have a
they're
wreck.
wrecking in the back.
Caution flag is out for the second time tonight. Darrell's having a dodge as it is Evan Mesnard who goes around to the 73. We're under caution.
Yep, that happened. There we go. You see the 73. Let's take a look and see what happened here exactly. We're coming down that little back straightaway to say into the corner here. That 26. Oh, nope, 29. It was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Sends that green car up into the wall. Not the best of feelings. And he did not lock the tires down at all. And he just came right back down into oncoming traffic.
Significant damage as a result to the 73 car. And he'll have to get a lot of repairs done on the car. Stephen Williams picked up a meatball flag from contact from that incident also. So as they get all regrouped here, still it's Gitter, Dyson, Holtzman, now Delaney on the move on the restart. Was able to get the fourth before the caution flag.
Delaney has been moving through this field very methodically, but now he's finally up into the top 5. He was running 6th there at the end of that stage, I believe, and now he's running top 5, running 4th. He had to get by a couple cars. It's very hard to make moves whenever you're in the back of the pack, so it might take you longer to go from 15th to 10th versus going from 10th to 6th and 6th to 4th. I mean, it just depends. But Delaney doing a great job of bouncing back from that rough qualifying effort that he had. The cars that were involved in that incident, I don't see anything that's terminal for those drivers, so I believe that they might be able to continue after some damage repair. However, they will most certainly probably be off the pace for a few restarts if we do end up getting more cautions before they have other damage repaired.
Indeed, so your lucky dog, by the way, this caution flag is coming around. It's Brennan Hastings that will get the lucky dog. Right now, Seminario, you see him just trying to pace along here and get all ready to go for the upcoming restart soon. So, just saving fuel, that's the key thing, because remember, we're going in this stage to lap 185. You'll likely have a pit stop this stage under green, if it goes green.
Cautions breed cautions, and unfortunately, it seems like that's what we saw at the stage break. We had a caution just now, and it's going to be a challenge for them to hang on this time. Luckily, we don't have guys that are on like 60-lap old tires starting up in the front of the field that they will have to avoid this time. So that challenge is going to be removed from the last restarts, but they're still going to have tremendous challenge trying to not make any mistakes as we're getting ready to come back here in a couple laps. I think they added an extra lap on for this particular restart. When they cross the stripe, they'll get the 1 to go signal. Again, these guys just do not want to get involved in anything. They understand how close it is and how it's not an easy thing to do to go through that dog leg. You're going to end up spreading out over that entire thing all over the place, and sometimes without a spotter, which is the majority of the drivers. I think only maybe less than 6 have spotters. But out of all these guys, when you don't have a real spotter there telling you where folks are, even with a spotter, it's difficult to be able to make the right decision and the right move at the right time. We'll see what they're able to do as we're coming now to get the restart, but they just got to be able to avoid the wrecks.
Just have to be able to keep it clean. That's the key word for a race like this, and we're coming up to the restart. Right now, coming up to 72 laps completed the race itself. Gitter up front with Dyson. Then it's Hoytsma and Delaney, Heitman and Hoffman, Miller, Benefield, Lawn, DeCiani, the top 10 for the upcoming grouping. Seen Gitter lead all the laps so far. Let's see if that trend continues for Fortis Motorsports. Green flag is out. Back underway. Good launch as he runs away from the field.
Everybody stays above that yellow line this time round versus what we saw before. Top spot getters getting away. Everyone else staying 2x2 throughout the field. I don't see any 3 wide whatsoever, which was actually unexpected there, as it looks like that 97 of Lucas Hutzma pulls into that 3rd place spot right behind Dyson. And Delaney still running there in 4th now with Heitman in 5th. These guys are just hanging on to these top spots. They want to get some more stage points. Might as well, right? For this particular stage, we'll see what they decide to do now with that caution. It makes it a lot easier to get through. But still single file for the front 7-8 cars before we get to some double file racing right now with the 79 of Shane Davis and the 83 of Adam Benefel. Now that's the first battle I see with now Hoffman making a move on a 28 just in front of them with Matthew Long.
Caution flag is out once again. 3rd yellow flag of the night, and it's involving turn 1. A scattering of cars, including Dustin Hall in the middle of the racetrack. Jason S. Taylor amongst those also collected. We're back under yellow.
Not something you want to see. Like I said, precautions breed cautions. Let's take a look at this one. The 60 car, we were talking about him earlier. That's Jason S. Taylor. He has a meatball flag, so he might be done for a while. Oh, it wasn't even his fault. Huge contact. Oh, golly. That was a heavy, heavy hit to the outside wall. That one car, we're going to have to look at that again. That one car, he just came out of the corner here on the outside. He hit the wall a little bit. It's fine. No big deal. It's through the dog leg, so we'll see that here in a second. He's on the outside of Bobby Anderson. This is for up near the front here, about a good battle. He's going to go through the dog leg here. I think he's just going to loot. Yeah, he hits the bump and just... That 60 car was just innocent bystander. Another car involved there. That's Tanner Marty, Jordan Pearson. Another car was involved there. Let's go on board. You'll see this bump here. Just bang. Just send that car around, and that 60 is just... Oh, man. Not something that's any fun at all to be involved in that type of incident. It's nothing the 60 did anything wrong. It's a racing incident 100%. Now on board with the hardest contact of the night so far. Just goes wha-pow straight up into the outside wall. And that will end, most likely, his day here. I'm not sure if he's able to continue after that hard of a hit into the wall. But it seems like there was an apology that was given. And Jason replied in text chat stating, "Of course you are sorry." So he's probably not too happy about being reared into the wall, but it wasn't one car's fault whatsoever, I don't think. What do you think?
I think that was an error case of it bottoming out like we have talked about already in that dog leg in that case for Dustin Hall. Brennan Hastings does get a wave around, it looks like, in this situation. That should get him back on the lead lap to put 37 cars on the lead lap. They did extend the caution. Your temperatures, by the way, for the track, a bit cooler than you may expect for the desert. 103, make it 102. Track temperature Fahrenheit, 75 the air temperature here in Avondale for the time being. So we've seen drivers see the temperatures go in the 120s in some races. So far, though, starting to get a little bit of attrition filled to the back of the field, Kirk. Front of the field, keeping it clean.
That's exactly right. I mean, chaos happens at the back of the field. That's just what the truth of the matter is. It's not very common that you'll see, I guess, that situation happen anywhere else other than the back of the field. A lot of cars tend to make mistakes and have accidents in that situation. But it does look like, by the way, that a couple more cars have lost quite a few laps. We want to make sure we mention them to mention that they've had issues tonight. Again, those are Tyler Hunter had that issue where he hit the wall early on. It broke his right front wheel, just was not pointing in the right direction, had to come down, and he ended his night early tonight on the first couple laps. Followed by Evan Mesnard, currently sitting in 42nd. He's also out of the race right now. I think he's sitting in his pit lane trying to get his damage repaired. Steven Williams also has a meatball trying to get that damage repaired. And that is everybody who is currently sitting in pit lane, with the exception of Jason S. Taylor, who also had a meatball and is now dropping back as well. So we're coming to get the green.
It's coming up to the restart again. Gitter, Dyson, Hoisman, Delaney, Heitman, Miller, Lawn, Hoffman, Shane Davis now in 9th. Adam Benefiel starting the top 10. As they get all positioned in the gearing to come up to start lap 80 this time around. Still more than 100 laps to go in stage 2. So far, 2 cautions in the second stage. So far, the mid to backpack. We'll see if we have anything happen off this restart. Green flag is out. Gitter is gone. Off and away as the battle is on, side by side for second.
Lucas Hoetzma's got a good run. He's down low. He's going to try and dive it in on Dyson here to the inside. Dyson's got some speed, though, on that outside. He might carry that momentum, but Hoetzma's still holding tough, as it looks like another battle here for the 4th place spot. Delaney's trying to make a move up for 3rd even, out to the outside of that 97 of Lucas Hoetzma. No incidents quite yet. It seems like they're running really well. Delaney got up out of the groove a little bit there. Wasn't able to make much ground on Hoetzma. But yeah, these drivers still hanging on to it, trying to get settled in. We got to be able to get through this for the long run. And these front guys want nothing more than just get to this end of this thing. They don't want to have to keep resetting and losing all the advantage they give themselves.
At this point, trying to get as many spots as they can before things really spread apart. Right now, good start so far for Robert Miller. A lot of speed in that car. As you see him trying to hold on in the Cyclones entry. Right now in front of the side-by-side of the pack.
Great battle. I mean, it's all just for a short period of time until they finally realize, okay, I need to get settled in here. Don't want to burn my stuff up. Then we're going to be fine. But the Battle of Beneful now moves up to the outside. He's able to get around Matthew Long, I think, if he's able to just hang on to it. But Long's got a little bit of a run through that dog leg, and I think not quite enough of a run. That's going to put him back. This is a battle again for the 8th place spot. Beneful's got it. Matthew Long wants it. Along with Hutchinson now battling for that 10th place spot. He has Davis to his tail end there. And again, Hutchinson has recovered quite well since he lost he had some running issues earlier in this particular race. We saw him start up front, lose some ground on the long run, but I think that 8 car is built for the short run. We saw that with how he dropped back from like 11th to 17th in a very short period of time towards the end of the run last time by. Oh, he got put in the wall there by that blue car right there. Davis, Shane P. Davis and Hutchinson, they're battling hard.
Yeah, not backing off on this battle. Hutchinson, though, doing a good job for the high side. Davis still able to use the dog leg to keep alongside for a moment. Back to single file racing. And this is going to be part of the key thing, too. You can't spend too much time battling those. You're going to burn up those tires. You're going to go so far before you have to go into rhythm mode. As some of the other drivers try and get into a rhythm. Paul Hill making the pass on Sean O'Brien.
Up to 16th now for Paul Hill. Again, he has 2 second place finishes under his belt. He has a great start to this year, and he's just going to keep trying to continue having great run after great run. He's now at a point now where he's about to crack top 15 if he's able to get by one more car here. He's right now watching Cameron Stone make a move on Hunter Truell down to the bottom. Truell up top. Truell is one of those cars that's just really hard to pass, but I saw a car in the mirror of this particular car we're looking on board from now. If you look very slightly, you'll see a little red and green car that had a penalty a few laps ago that has recovered quite well. As Stone and Truell battle, here comes Nolan Hodson now battling with Johan Seminario, trying to gain the ground he lost earlier. They're still side by side here for the 14th place spot. That's Hunter Truell currently has that 14th place spot, but Stone's trying that bottom, trying to make it work. He's going to wash up, trying to carry the speed. I don't think he's going to be able to have it this time. Oh, Truell hit the wall, though. That's going to give Stone a chance. back on the bottom into turn number 3 and 4. He's going to have Paul Hill now trying to join the action. Well, Paul Hill trying to make it 3 wide on the exit of this corner. Nope, it looks like Cameron Stone will take that spot away, but Paul Hill's, he wants the spot now. Here he comes trying to go to the bottom, trying to make a move on him as well. As this all has been going down, Nolan Hodgson has made his way through this field very quickly from the back all the way now currently in 22nd position.
Not bad recovery so far. Still lots of laps and lots of spots to make up, though. That's a critical thing throughout this race. We still keep an eye on those battles in the top 20. And the tough thing about tonight is going to be able to get alongside like this. Delaney making the move on Hoytsma for the high side. Takes away the top 3.
Delaney moving really quickly through these cars. He's making good look. Oh, he's on the rear bumper. He let Dyson know he was there. He gave him a shot on the left rear. Delaney's fast. He's got himself a good set of wheels under him. He's going to try and use that bumper a little bit. Maybe this time, not quite. He dove it in a little deeper than I thought he was going to. But looks like now he's on the back bumper, second place, and might be heading up here to the lead here very soon if he's able to get by Dyson.
Yeah, right now building up a good pace. We've seen Delaney almost stagnate at 11th during the long run in stage 1. Seems to have found something for this mid-run now for stage 2 to be able to battle, as Dyson also providing some pressure. And the tough thing is going to be the dirty air too, you have to think, because this is a track where we've heard that phrase in the past. It's hard to pass with the dirty air, and a lot of these drivers dealing with some turbulence here.
That's a good way to describe the reason why we see crashes mostly happen in the back of this field, because of the dirty air. They really make the car bounce around, move around, and it also doesn't let the car, like, you know, you can't drive in as deep with you got dirty air. It just feels like the car does not feel as planted in the front end that you want, because there's not enough air on the front end being pushing down on the wheels. It's an aerodynamic thing. If that car gets in front of you and knocks that wake off your front end, it makes that front end get really light. It feels less heavy, and it means less grip on the front tires. As they are now 3 wide battle back here with Anderson and Kulmacheski's back here. This is a battle for 23rd, back 20s. These guys always are going to battle like this. These guys have the definition of dirty air all around them. That's why they're driving like they are. They're not single file like the entirety of the front pack. As the front pack actually looks like we have a slight battle here. Heitman goes to the bottom of Hotzma on the front straightaway going through the start-finish line. They were close battling each other. There's still 3 wide back here. Nolan Hodgson trying to make more moves, getting up to the front. He's going to dive it way down into the dog leg here, makes sure he does not lose that car. And look at that. He is up a few more spots. He's making a lot of ground up as one car is losing a lot of ground. That is Truell. Hunter Truell has lost quite a bit of spots since his last... since he was up front earlier. He was running in the top 15, but he's dropped back now outside of the top 20.
Yeah, going the wrong way in that sequence. Right now it's the 71 as he lets NASCAR go alongside and crits. Great run by that 12 once again to be able to talk about that speed. Bobby Anderson is also back here. Seen him in the conversation for stage points earlier. Now he also zips by. The 71 seems to just be in on the struggle bus at the moment.
Yep, dropping back like a rock. We talked about that earlier. A few cars had that problem. That 5 car, though, he's been marching forward. A few other cars. But when these cars have these issues where they're not quite as fast as the cars around them, they create bottlenecks. And that's why Truell now is about to be, he's trying to make sure he doesn't go 3 wide, because 3 wide makes him lose even more time. He's just trying to get past one at a time, of make it hard for him to pass, of course, but they're moving forward. Nolan Hodgson now up to 17th spot. He went from 22nd last time we talked about him all the way up to 17th just in a handful of laps. So he's got a nice set of wheels under him, and he's going to try and make a comeback of the century here. As again, up front, the battle for the lead has not really heated up too much. Gitter still got it by about a half a second, maybe 3/10, I should say, over Dyson and Delaney. Delaney's all over the back bumper of Dyson. Not much ground to be made here. I think Dyson's going to be really cautious to not make a mistake. You don't want to over push it. But Delaney is being really aggressive on entry. He's diving in there pretty deep, trying to make any move he can on that second place car of Andrew Dyson. We'll see if he's able to make any moves that will result in a +1 on the board. But right now we got Lucas Hoetzma hit the wall slightly to the point where Derek Heitman down to the bottom almost turned him. He is back a couple spots further, 4th place now. These guys almost had a very big accident. That was very close, within maybe an inch or so before that. We'll have to keep an eye on these guys. They're that 76 of Derek Heitman is diving it in there deep, and he is trying his best to be able to gain as much ground as he can. Especially right here. Take a look. Here he comes into the corner. He just gained so much time on the back bumper of Lucas Hoetzma. He's not able to keep it. He can stay on the early part, but if Hoetzma has a problem at all on this entry, he is going to have Heitman on his doorstep.
Yeah, and Heitman, we know, has the speed in that car. Just has to be able to find his way to the bumper to be able to make a move. Right now, turning 28.7s up front. The leader is in the same ballpark. Most of the front runners are in the same pace. Their drivers running quicker than the leader as far back as in the teens with how things are looking. Looking on board with some of the battling at the moment. This involving some of those in the back. That includes Alex Princeton, who, remember, had not pit on the previous caution to start stage 2, and then had to go to the back of the field after getting drop kicked back. He's running 27th.
Kind of worked out in his favor, though, because he was able to start up in the front, drop to the back, but during that time frame, they had a caution. He was hoping for a quick caution, but he still got a good caution there to force him to be able to pit a little later. So he has a few lap fresher tires than those around him, as we see Truel, the car that we were talking about earlier, going backwards, is now reached the point where Princeton is trying to make a move on him. They are too wide. Dang, they are just all over each other right up here in this front little group. Too wide. That's the 43 and the 64 going at it. That 43 car again is Victor Pfluger trying to hang on the bottom there to the outside of the 64 car of Dylan Kritz. These guys are all battling back in the bottom 20s. So that's where the real racing is actually happening most of the time, because you get guys that are, they're all in 30 air. There's not much you could really nowhere you can go. So their only choice they have here is to try to get everything they can get. And Princeton dives it in, almost gets to the back of Truel, but he's able to withhold from hitting that. So that's good on him. Truel's going to make a move of 3 wide to the bottom of the 43. That's going to be a 3 wide situation. He's still, even though he has a little, 43 goes up into the wall.
Pfluger almost hit the back end of the car in front of the 64 Kritz. Trying to avoid him, and now he's scattering a cause of trouble. Bit of trouble there with Princeton, now trying to find his way around. Brickley also involved. Now a big checkup as the 43 goes high. Of note, Bobby Anderson pit, so the window is open, but things are scattering apart here.
And he was hoping for that caution right then and there, Bobby. I mean, I think that would have been a heck of a time for a caution to come out. But yeah, nope, they are hanging on to it. They're battling hard. A lot of these guys are struggling. They have really worn out tires. They're not going to be able to hang on to it for long. Slight contact again, 71 and the 61 making contact. Not something that's necessarily recommended to keep these cars safe. But again, I do want to reiterate that these guys are driving the wheels off their cars, trying to get everything they can get. As the leaders, they're happy with where they are. They're content. They're saving tire. They're working together. Again, we want to make sure that we get you all the information that we can. The front guys are all single file. You're not missing anything necessarily. A couple moves here and there by maybe Hoffman. He's trying a move on Heitman up front, but nothing that's actually going to work out of the gate here. The entirety of the top 15 is pretty single file. Even the top 20, this is the biggest battle on the track with the exception of Hoffman. Now battling here. The 92 is trying the outside. Heitman's trying to bottom.
Trying to find a way down, as that's going to cost him a spot after all that. So Hoffman back in the top 5. We do have Jason S. Taylor standing on by after the incident a little while ago. Jason now joining us at the broadcast booth. Jason, what happened from your perspective in that situation for the 60?
Yeah, so that's just Dustin letting his ego get the better of him. It's the same issue with him week in and week out between me and him. He just has a big old issue when I'm a little bit faster than him, so he overdrives himself and it ends up costing me most. So, yeah, that's what happened. Dustin Hall's ego got in his way.
Well, it looked like he hit that apron there, and it just knocked him a little loose. It's just racing. I think, we almost had a spin right there on the track there. But no, man, it's unfortunate. It was just bad timing, clipped you right in the wrong spot. That was a hard hit. You're going to be able to fix the thing and get back out there, or what do you think?
No, it's Dunskies, man. And I would agree with you, Kirk, but it just so
Caution's
happens.
out. Wrecking in turns 3 and 4. I'm sorry to interrupt you. We got 4 cars around sitting on the exit of turns 3 and 4. We're going to have to look at that. Ryan Strunk, the car who stayed out earlier, got involved in that. We'll have to look at a replay. But thank you again so much for coming in here and chatting with us here. Taylor, I wish you the best of luck going forward to next week.
Yeah, appreciate it. Quick shout out to Ralph Hutchin Motorsports. Appreciate those boys. Glad I'm there to help them as a team. Thank you, boys.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we just saw what could have been just a straight on screen monitor maybe turned off, because that did not look pretty.
I think it's from that one. There's a big 7 at the 77, and then next corner, the 43 is a fair bit back, and then watch this in 3.
What on earth happened there? We're gonna have to talk to him to see what on earth happened there. Wow, that's gonna bring up some pit stops. Everybody's gonna come down and get some tires. That did not work out to Bobby Anderson's favor.
No, it did not. That with Bobby Anderson, I see him still be a lap down, if not a wave around car. So that's gonna mean tough situation for him. He is in the wave around position. Getter already revving the motor, trying to get things lined up as people get themselves for tires and fuel. Off and away, Getter side by side, and believe he beat Delaney out to the pit road exit.
Was barely hanging on to it. Sounds like he did a good job there of hanging on. But yeah, we had Jedi up here talking with us for a moment ago, and just when that wreck happened, we had to be able to, sorry that we had to move him so quickly. We just wanted to make sure we got to cover that accident there, because that was quite unusual. But yeah, that brings us to the end of lap 113.
Take a quick step aside. Under caution here from Phoenix.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Phoenix. More coverage of the FLCC. Getter continues to lead them all. He leads the field again to the green flag. Back underway. It's been domination station for the 21 so far. Already back to second is Dyson for now. It's 3 wide, right behind him.
A lot of battling throughout this field as we had that accident earlier that took out a couple cars. But it looks like now that they are back underway, the Getter got a great jump on that restart. Every single restart, it seems that guy gets a heck of a restart. But still able to hang on to it. Now the battle for second is heating up. Here comes Delaney to the bottom. He's trying to make a move to the bottom of Dyson. I don't know if he's going to make it work. It does not look like that will work, but behind him, here comes Hoffman to the back of Heitman. Hoffman to the back of Delaney.
Caution.
Trying to make a move. Caution's back out again.
And Dustin Hall is in this one. Kevin Zosiak, Alex Princeton. And we're back under yellow.
We're going to have to take a look at that and see what the heck happened here this time. Here we are. It looks like that maybe Princeton may have had a loose moment in the in that little oval there. I don't know if Princeton had anything to do with this necessarily. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, that was way behind. The one car was way behind. Let's take a look at that 19 and see what may have caused this. Going through the dog leg on this lap I think is where it starts. I think Princeton might have gotten a little loose. We'll have to take a look. So he comes off the corner here. Looks fine so far. He hits that spot there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he split it and then Brickley got involved. Hard hit to the inside wall, came back up the track. Oh no, there's Bobby Anderson involved. The 44 of Brickley. Juan Petrovic might sneak through there. But that 44 collected the 30 car as well as the 09. Again, that's Dave Hoedsma was involved in that. Juan Petrovic missed it entirely, luckily for him, so he was able to avoid the incident. But Kevin Zosiak was involved in that as well. Took out a lot of guys.
Yeah, ended up damaging a lot of race cars. Billy Brickley amongst the meatball flags from that incident. In that situation, Dustin Hall did not get mandatory damage repairs, can still get the car fixed. Others like Zosiak spending time to get manual damage repaired with significant dents to their race cars. Your lucky dog, this caution flag, by the way, Jordan Pearson getting lucky dog, 13 laps down. Gonna put him down to 12 with that incident. So, see how the drivers now get regrouped under this caution flag. The attrition has built up a lot more in stage 2 after a clean and green essential stage 1.
Stage 2 is just filled to the brim with caution after caution, it seems like. Like I said, when cautions come out, it is rare that we get a sequence where they are able to go green for a long period of time, and with the exception of at the very beginning of a race or with a long run with strategy planned out. This is just short track race, and unfortunately in modern day, it just seems like we still have issues with being able to avoid small mistakes here and there, but they are just what they are, mistakes. Nobody's doing this on purpose. At least nobody, I don't think they're doing it on purpose. It wouldn't make much sense to go out there, run 110 laps, and then just go straight on into a corner. But we still have all the cars that were up in the front still are in the front. Nobody's made any moves that were a little unorthodox, as they're now heading down that back straightaway into turn 3 to get the green flag.
Let's try this again. 3 cautions alone in this stage. But try this once more from Phoenix. Green flag is out. Back on her way, and a good restart for Gitter. Now Delaney getting a chance to battle for second quickly to the inside. Already trying to get the charge. It's 3 wide, just about right behind him once more. Delaney does take second.
Yep. Oh, hang on to it, Hutchinson. He just saved that race car. Hutchinson almost spun this thing out just like that. But now we got a new second place driver, ladies and gentlemen. That moves up Delaney. He came from 17th, now up to second, and is challenging Gitter for the lead. That's going to be a battle that's going to be fun to watch, I'm sure, and exciting if they're able to keep it green. They are still battling for positions in the back. Nolan Hodgson from his 17th place last check-in. He's now up to 15th, might be 14th here in a moment. He is gaining back ground, and he is trying to get through the other cars that he's been racing throughout this race. Just trying to get back up to where he was, running in the front, top 2. As it looks like Delaney is all over the rear bumper of Patrick Gitter. Now we're starting to get a race up front right here. Here they come into the corner. Will he make a move? He's got them all in the rear end. That's going to cause some dirty air to make Delaney have to lift a little. He just ran his fastest lap of the race. Now Delaney is the fastest car on track. He's going to try and make a move on Gitter here soon. I anticipate that being done very soon. It's
the question of where he's going to get that poke side by side behind him. As it follows Heitman and Oitzma battling for the top 5. By the way, Delaney is to the inside for the race lead. Couldn't get the run yet. Had to check up hard to avoid contact, in fact.
That's going to lose him a half a second. That's going to drop him back quite a bit. He's going to have to chase him back down.
Gonna have to regroup. But good give and take there to prevent making sure he slide lit up there. Just allowed the opportunity for a getter. Get that run, get the pass done cleanly. Delaney doesn't want contact. Meanwhile, Jeremy Miller, he's still trying to fight hard with Paul Hill, who's gone from 30th to 14th.
Paul Hill also going with Nolan Hodgson up to the front. He's doing a great job. Just make sure that they don't get into the back of anybody. They're side by side battling here for that position. The battle for third is also heating up. A few other spots are also getting a little bit interesting to watch. This is the 41 and the 92 of Clayton Hoffman here, and the 41 of Andrew Dyson. We saw Dyson win last week, I believe, at Circuit of the Americas, but Hoffman's trying to get that podium spot taken away from the 41.
Dyson's been top 3 essentially the whole night so far tonight. Backing up speed, Cena Coda. But getting back to that 12, still trying to make some moves, still trying to cut ahead. It's been a great recovery so far for Nolan since that penalty. It's gone a little bit quicker than somebody expected, but it's been working so far for Nolan on speed.
He still's got a long way to go, though. With every pass you make, starting at the back, there's that guy. He puts on the VR headset, and he just is a happy guy. But yeah, every time you have to go through the field here at a track like this, and you got a car as fast as what Nolan has, what you got to do is you just got to put your head down and focus and realize that each spot is going to have to be earned from here on out. Everyone else might have let you go, might have realized you were faster, might have been kind, but once you get up towards these points paying positions, it is going to be a pain to try and get by some folks. So we might see him stall out here in a second, but then again, he has a fast car under his wheels, so we'll see if he's able to wheel that thing up to the front. Nobody else is really battling up in the front sections quite yet. Delaney's trying to chase back down the leader again. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it anytime soon. He's right there. He's gotten within like a half a car length, quarter car length. So now the battle for the lead is going to start heating up here again very shortly. He has made up that ground. He is there, but the top 3 have all really been there. But the 6 has not shown until this restart that he had something for Gitter. Before he showed that he could be in the top 5, but this restart, he got a fast lap, and he has shown everybody in this field that he is going to be someone to contend with for this race win.
Right now, looking up front. Skinner tries to space it back out, up by 3/10. That's been the norm throughout this one. You see that time differential again. You mentioned Delaney showing great speed. He's got 2 of the 3 fastest laps. Faster laps in the race leader. Of note in the backdrop, Heitman ended up trying to get a poke on Heitman, you see in the backdrop. Couldn't get the move yet, as right now Hoffman is trying a little bit of a higher line, trying to get some clean air on the front nose as he tries to battle Dyson.
I think that these guys realize that we're coming to the end of the stage here very soon, and they're just trying to get everything they can get before. And I don't know if he's going to be willing to use the bumper. We saw him use the bumper quite a bit last couple of weeks, but I don't anticipate that happening too much here on the short track. But we'll see how they're able to manage it. But still, the top 2 are the ones I'm really surprised with. I still cannot get over the fact that Delaney came back from a 17th place, 18th place on the grid starting position here. And he's able to go from the back all the way to the 2nd place just like that. The only other person in the top 10 who has done that, there are 2 others who have become from further back. 7th place right now is Matthew Long. He started in 23rd. Absolute great drive by that car to get back up to the top 10, running in a great top 10 spot for some points. Look at that. Would you look at that? He's up 15 from the start of the race. Cameron Thompson also had a great run, but he's still mired back in the back 15th place spot. But the other driver who has worked their way up from the back is Shane P. Davis. He started in 20th, and now he is on the back bumper of Adam Benefel, trying to make a move, trying to keep going towards his march to the front.
Indeed so. As we continue on with the action, still plenty of battling to go in the race. Still plenty of time to be able to process things. Different line movements as well is one thing to keep an eye on. Most people are just keeping things flat, trying to run the old line, keep things simple. Others have been trying some of the diamond lines here. It's very fickle, that racing line here, if you want to be able to build up something.
Yep, racing line, there's two ways you can run it, and one way really kills your tires, but you're still fast, and the other way is kind of fast, but not in the same way the other one is. You can get fast on entry and then slower on exit, or fast on exit, slow on entry. So the 76 doesn't have too many options here other than doing what he's doing right now, which is going to the dogleg. Dogleg is a great equalizer in a way, in my opinion. Now he's side by side. Now he has a chance to battle. And I think that 92 might just be giving him that spot here. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like that's what's going to happen. Heitman now up to 4th.
Good pass to be able to get that done. So they keep on going ahead in this spot. So Heitman showing why he's considered one of the favorites potentially for this race tonight. How things are going. Delaney providing more pressure up front. Just trying to switch up lines in the battle with Gitter. Ended up losing a little bit of ground this time, corner exit, but was trying a different line and was making it work as he finds some cleaner to the nose.
He's trying to try something different every lap. He's just trying to find some clean air somewhere to keep him to the point where he can catch him. He's got a long way to go to be able to actually, get by him necessarily. But yeah, great drive. I still cannot believe this guy drove through this field. He did it's going to be interesting to see when he actually is able to push hard enough, because I don't think he's pushing 100% here. I don't think the leader, Patrick Gitter, is pushing 100% either. I still think these two are battling in saving something in the tank. I don't anticipate this being the best they can do. So here comes the 6 to the bottom. Dive bomb. He's side on his inside quarter panel. He's not going to have the run off the corner, so he's going to lose a little bit of time. Remember what I talked about earlier. You can dive into a corner and make up a lot of ground, but you will definitely give up all of the exit, and that's what the 6 is doing. He's got the bottom now. He moved the 21 up off the bottom, which is going to put the 6. He's probably going to try and cut the dogleg again, but the 21 defends that and cuts it himself. Try and hang on to the lead spot. 6 dives it in deep again in turns 1 and 2. Slides up. He's not going to quite get there to even out with Gitter, so Gitter's going to cut down, and that's going to take his air away. Might give him a worse exit, but they are still hanging together pretty tightly, as Heitman is even closing on the back end of Dyson as well.
The run Delaney to the inside. Gitter again gets the power down to clear on by. Still lots of pressure. And missed this side by side. Right now Dyson holding on as well with the small cushion, as you mentioned. So it's about time. It's about trying to think about things right. Delaney playing this very patient, even with the runs. He knows he's got plenty of time in the race to do something.
Plenty of time. That's why I said I don't think that they're running 100% at all. I think that they still got another 40 laps before the end of the stage. So, maybe the 6 is going to try and do a high arc here, carry some speed onto the straightaway, make a move here into turn 3 and 4. But he's just not able to keep the run. He's able to stay even with Patrick, but I don't think he's able to make any actual gains here. He's staying on his bumper, and he hit that imaginary bubble that exists, where it's just so hard to make a pass on a car that has similar speed, and you guys are the same skill level or a very similar skill level. And now, the only thing that can throw a driver off is the front chrome horn. You need to use the chrome horn. You got to use the front end of the car, move them out of the way. However, you don't want to do that now. That's not the time to do it. You save it to the end. Right now, they just want to get close enough to where if he does make a mistake, he could use it. But also, if he's close enough like this, a small mistake will give him an open door. And you can see he's just staying right on that rear bumper. It's a great camera angle right here. We're looking on the back of that Fortis Chevrolet right now. He's hanging on to this lead. Oh, that camera angle went from great to bad really quickly. Oh my gosh. Went straight into that guard, what do they call it? The safer barrier there. Saw the foam little squares going by. But the 6 now and the 21 seem to have equaled out in terms of speed. The 6 still is going to be diving into the corner here, trying every single time to get a grip here. Not quite going to hang on. It's going to be hard to pass him that way. Gitter would have to let him go if he's going to make that move work. And I don't anticipate that happening. They're battling for a stage win. They're not going to be doing that. They're still going to get side by side here and there. But I don't anticipate that move working without any contact.
Yeah, still plenty of time to go. About 40 laps to go in the stage. Remember, this stage ending on lap 185. Still going to be seeing some potential lap traffic for the leaders too. Bobby Anderson just up the road. Hudson has moved his way ahead side by side.
Contact with Delaney and Gitter. Delaney got into the left rear of Gitter there that time, and he just came over to radio, and I think he may have said, sorry about that, or something like that. But he definitely got into him, and now they're battling. The lap car got out of the way. He's down on the apron. That's Bobby Anderson. He got involved in that last incident. Yeah, there was slight contact on these leaders. That's why you have to forgive me for interrupting you there. It was very close to being an accident. That 6 car had a heck of a run. Just slid right up into the left rear of Patrick Gitter and somehow did not spin that car out. Did a great job of hanging on to it. But now we got a battle for third. Take a look at that. Here comes the 76. He's trying to make a move now, trying to get third. That's Heitman on the bottom, Dyson on top. Not gonna work this time. They're gonna hang on to it as Hoffman hits the wall back there in 5th. Correction, Heitman hits the wall back there. Hoffman, it was Hoffman that hit the wall there. But yeah, these front guys are all now stuck together 2 by 2. 21's got his Tango partner, that 6 car, and that 41 and 76 are together, trying to hang on to it. 6, he's gonna go on the bottom. Here he goes. This is gonna be his shot. He had a good chance here. He's gonna have a good run. He gets up. No contact with the wall from Gitter. Very close to the wall, but not quite enough to scrape it. Delaney's down there again. He's gonna slide up. Oh, he is trying everything he can to get this lead from Patrick.
He keeps trying, poking and prodding, but nothing doing so far. Delaney might have to change things up because obviously the inside's not working, but it's going to be hard to get it onto the outside line. Oh, some contact. Heitman to the back end of Dyson.
Oh, now Hoffman's going to take advantage of that and move right up into 4th. Slight contact, and that's how close these guys are running. These guys are right there on the edge of control, and just one small mistake can make you lose a spot, but it's easy to gain it back whenever you're that fast. That 76 is pretty quick, so he's going to try and make a move on Hoffman again, but the leader's still trying. The battle here, side contact, 6 almost turned to 21 there, hangs on to it. Both of them are just driving the wheels off this thing. They must be having a ton of fun in those cars.
Yeah, this battle's been fun to watch for the outside too. Delaney still hounding the back end of Gitter. Still trying to find a way to poke around, get it up to the outside. Now tries to get a diamond line down as Gitter pushes up the racetrack. Delaney this time stays on behind as you see that angle as they make their way down the straightaway. Delaney, they're pulling away. The top 2 is at the moment, despite all the battling, as an air poke.
Oh, this is it. He's got into him. Slight contact. He almost spun the car out. That was his best opportunity. He had a heck of a run off of turn 2 last time by. Got on his rear bumper. Was able to dive it in deeper. But this time, the 21, he held tight. That 6 car slid up into the door. It wasn't enough to where they would spin out, but enough to where he said, hey, I'm here. I'm door banging. I am trying to get by you, man. And so I think that 80% now is about 90, 95, because I am sure that 21 was not happy about slight contact like that. He understands it's racing, and he's not going to be like, hey, man, why'd you do that to me? No, he understands what he's trying to do. But he's also might have stepped up his game, trying to realize that he's racing for stage points. This we already know Patrick Gitter is in the running. He's going to be in the championship here, in the playoffs. We already know that he won at Daytona, but with this car being a winner, that means he needs every single playoff point he can get. He's going to fight for this spot as hard as he can to get that playoff point, so that way he has a better chance of winning this championship when the year comes to an end.
Delaney now trying some different lines, you see, all the way up the track. Now Gitter's in the wall. Here comes Delaney. Delaney alongside again for the lead. Still coming up to 30 to go in the stage as again, high line prevails. Gitter holds on, but Gitter's not making it easy on himself.
Oh, yeah, he made a big mistake there and got lucky. Delaney did not see that coming. Delaney is definitely making a show for us. He is giving us something nice to watch. Here comes, oh golly, he's trying his best not to spin him out. He's getting as close as he can without turning him. But again, 21 when he hit the wall there, it really slowed him down. 6 now is going to try and get a big arc here, try to carry some speed through the dog leg maybe. Looks like that actually made him lose a little bit of time. So some things work, some things don't. He's going to dive in deep, make up that ground. And he's going to try and make it stick on the bottom. That 21 trying to hang on. He's not clear yet. Now he is. He comes right back up. We're looking on board from third place. Well, in third place is just having a good time watching this, just like we are. Side by side, slight contact. Delaney hangs on to it. Now Gitter's going to go wide. Here comes Delaney. He's going to cut the dog leg, and this is going to put him very close to. Ooh, golly, that 6 car almost just spun out big time. He went across that transition, and that thing almost snapped from underneath him.
And they're a big save there as that's all gone on. Hudson's now driven his way into a battle for the 11th position, just outside stage points, and right now Hudson, last time by, quicker than the race leaders with how things are turning so far for the 12.
Great recovery. Again, we just got to mention it. This guy, he is going through the field and he's doing it quick. He's already up to 12th last time by the line. What a move. What a way to do it. And he's trying to get by DeCiani again. We're talking about him right now as it looks like Delaney's, Gitter and Delaney are just trying to recover and, get back going. Oh, he gets in the back of DeCiani, almost spins him out. That was, DeCiani's not going to be happy about that. I can guarantee that. So Nolan here has got to realize, okay, we got a long way to go. I understand that we're trying to get some stage points here. You got another 20 laps, but if you hit guys like that, we're going to end up having more problems. So you got to be able to, solve one problem at a time. Don't create more for yourself. So we'll see if he's able to recover from that almost spin, as it looks like Delaney has recovered from his almost spin going through the dog leg. He is there on Patrick Gitter, and he's going to try and make a move here shortly. But we're looking right now at, looks like the 97 of Lucas Hoedsma battling right now with the 28. Hoffman and Long, they are right behind him. Oh, Hoffman just hit the wall pretty good. He went from running in about 4th place spot for a moment there with Hoffman, now almost outside of the top 8. So he's dropped back, but the lead is back under fire. Here comes the 6. He's going to have a run. Will he dive it down deep into this corner? He's going to dive it down. 21 blocks that dive. Not quite as deep as he had the last couple corners. Delaney's going to try and have a run off the corner here and do it in turns 3 and 4. He's on the rear bumper. Don't hit him. He's right there, and he's going to dive, or is he going to move him? Dives it. He's even. He's there.
He's diving along side by side, and now the contact.
No!
Oh, no!
Hang on to it. Oh, gosh, into the wall, Patrick Gitter. He is not going to be happy about that. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Wow.
That was nuts. Let's take a look at that again. Wow. So going through turns 3 and 4, we knew he was going to make the move. We knew he had it. 6 car hit him, got him a little tight in the corner. 21 held on to it, held his line. 6 coming out of the corner, looks fine, but the 21 comes down way sooner than the 6 was expecting. They make contact, they're sliding. The one thing they didn't want to do was go into the wall, and unfortunately for Gitter, he hit the wall. That's going to send him back currently to the 3rd place spot. He's hanging on, so don't think he's out of this. He has some damage he's going to have to repair, but some folks have now stacked up behind him as the new battle for the lead is between Dyson and Delaney. Delaney's probably not going to feel the best about that particular thing, but then again, it wasn't intentional. It's a hard racing thing, and I think the 21 just came down a little faster than the 6 was expecting.
Yeah, that's going to really hurt the 21's chances here. They are dealing with significant damage and looking not as stable now, quarter exit. Looking at the front runners again. Dyson now looking to see if he can make Delaney vulnerable. He's been in the popcorn seat to these battles all night long, and now he's got himself a true chance to maybe see if he's got enough speed to battle the 6 again.
And we're gonna have to find out, but I still cannot believe how good this 6 car is. I've been saying this all race. Somehow he's able to get up to the lead from starting 18th and running the fastest laps. Man, what a great recovery as we're looking now at the battle for 13th here. Jeremy Miller currently sitting in 13th. Johan Seminario is going to try and make a move to the bottom here. Again, these guys are all trying to get as much as they can before the stage end. They got another few seconds to get to Nolan Hodson, who has now cracked the top 10. Nolan Hodson now moves into 10th. That is a huge mark for him. He is probably very happy to know he's probably going to get some stage points today.
Yes, indeed. Still less than 20 to go in the stage to be able to secure those points, though. See some of the others battling on screen. Right now, Jeremy Miller holding off Seminario. Ryan Strunk is amongst those 20 laps down after the repairs. He's going to be trying to play things cautious. Nearly got into the 56 there.
Multiple laps down, got involved in an accident earlier. It's unfortunate the way it happened. We're going to look into that and see exactly what happened post-race, and we'll make sure to mention it in the post-race highlight clips, which will be released most likely next week. But again, these guys are racing really dang hard, and just trying to avoid all these lappers is something you got to learn how to do here at Phoenix. It's so difficult to be able to get around here when you got cars that might be running slower, might have damage, might have a problem, whatever it may be. Each time that they come out here to drive and they race, I mean, we got a great battle right here for 13th, actually. This is Johan Seminarios, and he's still going to have the advantage, but we're looking now at the battle for the top 5. It looks like Patrick Gitter has created a roadblock, as we talked about earlier, with cars that have roadblocks created due to tire issues. This roadblock is not for tires at all. It's because the car has damage, right front damage. That's going to cause a slow up, and all these cars are falling back because it's hard to pass Patrick Gitter. That is the truth of the matter. He is a difficult car to pass. Doesn't matter if he's in the lead or not. So these guys are going to struggle to get by, and they're going to fight amongst themselves because every single point in this series matters. And so at this point, like we're saying, no pun intended, they're going to be battling for that 3rd place spot, and it looks like Miller's going to make a move to the bottom.
Miller trying to get around, trying to get alongside Gitter, now pushing Gitter up the racetrack, up to a race high 3rd with that move, and able to move on up. Of note, Adam Benefiel is currently Munsel's now off racetrack. He seems to have backed out of the race after his struggles in the pack. Oh wow, Miller is thriving to the top 3.
Not just top 3, we have a move that's 3 wide. Heitman just made it 3 wide on Lucas Hoetzma and on Matthew Long. They are battling like crazy up here. These guys are making moves that are so insane. Now Heitman, Heitman pitted. I was about to say, where did Heitman come from? But it looks like these cars have pitted. Heitman is a lap down here, so my apologies. Didn't quite notice he was not battling here for a spot. Delaney and Andrew Dyson have checked out. They are gone. Once that Patrick Gitter machine created that quote-unquote roadblock, these two just scooted away. They're ahead now by almost 2 seconds from third place at Robert Miller. We got a lot of great driving here, but Miller is now starting to pull away from that quote-unquote roadblock with Patrick Gitter and Matthew Long battling. Again, remember, Matthew Long started 23rd. He's up to 5th. This is the top 5 now battling for 4th. He's going to move up another spot outside the top 20 to 4th in less than, looks like it took him a while, 175 laps, but he's finally there.
Yeah, finally able to move himself up to the 4th spot, up 19 positions, Matthew Long at this point of the race. Things are shaking down right here as we're coming around 10 to go in the stage. How things can change with a little bit of contact. Up front, Gitter's race has seen him go the wrong way with that damage, the way things have looked so far.
We actually just had it looks like, I gotta make sure this is correct, but it looks like we had somebody's chat be disabled. May have had something slip across the radio that was not something we wanted to see, perhaps. So we'll have to look in to see what may have caused that. But now Delaney and these guys have a new challenge, which is those cars that have come down and pit for tires like Heitman, you gotta now be aware of them and look in your mirror because you're gonna have people come after you. Heitman just got by Delaney, the leader, a moment ago, and he was able to get back up to the front, but we're looking still back at the recovery attempt here. Patrick Gitter and Lucas Hoetzma's there, Hoffman's there. They're all just trying to hang on to their spots and trying to run long, hope that we get something, a good stage point today right now. That's all they're thinking about, stage points, stage points, stage points. And I think it might be a smart decision right now to look at these guys up front because they're able to, I don't know if they're going to pit before this or not. I doubt it. I don't anticipate that. I think these guys are just going to come to the line as they are. But I do want to mention again, Nolan Hodgson went from the back to the front, and he's up to 9th now. That puts him in 9th, right behind Cameron Stone. So that's a great comeback story as well.
Great comeback for his race. So you see the front, Delaney has checked out. He's been able to break away for the rest of the field. I had to take a little bit of a hardy cut to get around traffic that time, but since that contact for the race lead, he has been able to break away, running 29 2s and 3s. Looking like he's got the car to try and hold on here for the rest of the stage at least.
He will. I think that I don't anticipate Andrew Dyson catching him in time. However, I will mention, if we take a look at lap times, Andrew Dyson was half a tenth faster that last time by. And so let's try and see as they cross the stripe this time to see if that is a trend or if it was just a fluke. Crossing the stripe, Delaney ran a 29.36 and Dyson ran a 29.33. So not quite enough to where they'll catch him by the end of the stage, but Dyson does have some speed for him here, as it looks like now we're looking at Paget. He might have gotten into the wall a little bit. I'm not 100% sure, but hanging on to it now on the outside with the 79.
Good, solid run. Paget, by the way, was involved in some of the contact earlier, has been able to keep the car clean despite some of those cuts for the contact. Great run as this stage has closed on out for him. It's under 4 laps to go in stage 2. Up front, Delaney holding serve for now. Keep in mind that they have a near 2-second buffer over Miller and Long.
That time by, Jonathan Delaney ran a 29.515, and Andrew Dyson ran 0.2 faster at a 29.316. So right now, Dyson might catch Delaney. It's going to be close, very close. If Delaney keeps getting loose like that, he most certainly is going to get caught by Dyson. We're coming to the end of the stage, and we might get a battle for this one like we had in the first one that was unfortunately cut short by a caution. We'll see if the 41's able to finally make that move work for him as it comes down to just 2 more laps to go in the stage.
Got more laps to work with. A lap and a half, in fact, now. Delaney trying to stay defensive, slid the tires a little bit. Andrew Dyson not able to close up enough to take advantage of that slide, though. 1 to go in stage 2. Dyson looks to be in line for a good spot regardless. He's trying to go for 1 more lunge, maybe. Not able to get alongside. Here is Delaney. Takes through 1 and 2.
Oh, he's going to have a run. He's going to have a run. I think, oh, we have some smoke up ahead. I don't see anybody around, but he's going to have a run. Here he comes down to the bottom. Will he be able to make the move into the final corner? He makes contact with Delaney up the hill. They're side by side through the final corner for the stage. Who will it be at the line? It's going to be Delaney hanging on and taking the stage at that line just by a few thousandths of a second. What a run to the finish, and great defensive job by Delaney to hang on. And Dyson, great job not spinning him out for the win, for the stage. If that was for the win, I don't know if he would have done that. What do you think?
Well, Andrew Dyson kept it clean in the stage. Delaney, Dyson, Miller, Lawn, Gitter dropped to the end of the top 5 with damage. Lucas Hoitzma, Hoffman, Camp Stone, Hudson, and then Seminario, the top 10 for this stage. Still come around for pit stops this time by. Curious how long Gitter stays in pit road because of the contact to the wall.
Not sure exactly. Again, Delaney's going to be coming down pit lane here. I seem to be having a small issue, but I think Delaney's going to be leading him down into the pits here, and we're going to see if they're going to be able to take some tires and recover from it.
So in they come for the pit party. Long going to be one of the first ones in the pit boxes as they go on into their stalls. And it's going to be the matter of seeing if there's a clean run to be able to get themselves out of the boxes here. Keeping an eye on how things look. 21's case. Delaney's already finished up his pit service. Gitter just starting his for reference on how big the gaps got for once they got around. So, race off pit road. First out, Delaney, followed by Dyson, Matthew Lawn, Miller, Hoitzma, and it looks like no damage repair for Gitter. We'll take a break. More coverage coming up. You're watching Maconi Entertainment.
If you really want to improve your driving technique, you cannot just ask someone to tell you when to brake or when to turn. You have to learn how the car wants you to drive it. You have to learn car handling techniques, and that's where I excel at. The Motor Racing Checklist is the work of my life, currently with 2,000 drivers registered, and here's the thing. If you don't improve in 30 days, you get your money back. So give it a try. If you have any questions, just send me a message. I'm always available to answering these questions. This course is made for high-level drivers. If you're a beginner, you're gonna use it for a long time because all these concepts will help you right away, but the more you improve, the more you understand them, and then you're able to squeeze every concept to the limit, and you're gonna gain precision to be able to apply them in a very subtle way that most people don't even notice a difference in your driving. But those are the small things that make you improve a tenth per corner, and then if you just add up those tenths, you realize you're 1 second faster than everyone else. Give it a try. If you have any question, just send me a message.
Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage of the FLCC here on Maconi Entertainment. The desert has brought some intriguing storylines so far. They've just extended the yellow flag. Just Prince alongside colleague tonight, Kirk Mills, DJ Line producing. As we get ready for the restart here, Kirk, your thoughts on the race so far?
Oh, wow. I am very surprised, to say the least. We had a bit of a caution area there after the start of stage 2, but they were able to, looks like they got that calmed down to the point where we had a great run to the end there. A couple cars on strategy came down for some pit stops. They might have been expecting cautions. They didn't get them. But up front, we have seen some of the most incredible racing all year up in the front of the packs. I mean, other than, of course, Daytona, Talladega, where, you know, it's even most of the time up in the front of the pack. This is short track racing, and they are putting on a show. Track temp, by the way, stayed the same most of the race, staying right around 100, 103 through that little area. So cars have just been loose on the long run, and we've seen that. Delaney almost got loose, but now with that, we do want to mention that the driver that we saw coming through the field, Nolan Hodgson, he's up to 8th. And then, of course, we want to talk about Patrick Gitter. He's going to be restarting on this restart at the tail of the field, 24th. He's going to have a long way to go to get back to the front.
Out of pit road penalty, it looked like on his stop. So it went to the back. Front of the field gets going. Oh, it's some contact already in the battle for second. Dyson having some door-to-door contact with a teammate. They make their way through 1 and 2 now as Lawn tries to make his way up to a race-high second. Dirty South 2-3.
Great moving up through this field. Again, the front guys are showing that they are trying to hang on to their cars. Just get settled down. Get everything you can get now that the stage is over. 122 laps to the end. This is for the race win. Get everything you can get it, and get it right now. It's serving them up hot. It's a restart. That's how you get spots. You can't really do it on the long run unless you have a set underneath you that's able to do it, and you drive that set to the best of its ability. However, on the restarts, you can get them just as much as you can, driving in deeper, doing what you can to make others in other uncomfortable positions. Delaney has scooted away, so he has already made his case for why he should be winning this race. But we also know now Hodgson just moved up to 7th. He is gaining spots again. I think he's going to be a car to watch here for the end of this race. We also know that Patrick Gitter, he must have stayed down in the pit lane, fixed some of his damage. But I also want to mention about him in particular, he is still staying in the back of the pack necessarily right now, still sitting 24th. Did not gain much spots on that restart. Oh, we got one spinning around on the apron there. That's Dylan Kritz. He is around on the inside. He hit the apron and he just spun out. He's sitting down on the entryway of the dogleg. That's going to bring another caution and another restart.
Back under yellow, we'll have to take a look at what caused that for sure. Believe he may have had some help after he got loose. Let's keep an eye on the green machines.
He's really loose, trying to save it, and he just couldn't hang on to it. So it wasn't the lip. He just got loose off the corner, and once he was sideways, there was, O'Brien had two choices. He could either slam on the brakes and get rear-ended by somebody, or he could, just try to stay off the gas. You saw him lift there for a second, but it's unfortunate, but definitely just got loose. Not any damage or anything that's going to cause any issues for him long run. He just loses track position. He's going to be able to gain it back, I think, get out there and still compete at a high level. So 65 doesn't look like he has too much nose damage, but it might be a 2X or 4X here for contact for him. Let's ride on board to see what he saw heading through turns 3 and 4 to the bottom. Looks fine, everything's good. But that outside line, you see it, he gets loose, and then he's just like, where can I go? It's not O'Brien's fault whatsoever in that instance.
And as a result, back under caution, Matt Tiziani of note amongst those who pit. A couple others towards the backpack also came down for service during this caution period. Curious on Tiziani. He gives up some good track position, pardon me.
Yep, gives up a couple spots. He's going to be coming down. I think he's running an interesting strat. Taking 4 tires like that, being able to get back out there. We're going to see what his plan necessarily is, which is it isn't always a bad idea to come down when you get a caution, but with 117 laps to go, I mean, if you're out there and you're able to make it as long as you need to for a full tank of gas, then, saving tires, having a few lap fresher tires than everybody else could be a benefit. So he's going to be able to make up that time over the course of the run if he's able to maintain his speed. He might get like a half a tenth here, half a tenth there. So it might be beneficial, but the only thing that's bad about this particular decision is he loses that track position, so he goes to the back.
Absolutely. So, getting all set for the restart yet again. Delaney, Dyson, Lawn. Cam Stone up to a race high 4th now. Miller in 5th. Hoytsma, Hudson, Hoffman, Seminario, Davis, the top 10. And so far, the control car's had some great restarts all throughout the night, be able to build up a bumper each time. Let's see what happens this time.
Pace car is going to dive here into the pit lane. And something I've noticed is at this particular track, drivers don't go all the way out to the wall on the restart here. Towards the end, you might see them squeeze that bottom line down towards the bottom wall here. That's what at least Dyson's trying to do. You can see how close he is to Delaney, trying to get him as low as he can go to get some marbles on his tires. But we're going to have this restart, and they're coming into the Geico restart zone now. Here we go. Jump. And he is away. That launch gets the 28. A great advantage. I guarantee you they may have been working there. Have a better restart. I don't see anybody having any issues as they head through turn number 1. That 28 of Matthew Long, guess what? He's up to second, and he is a happy camper, I guarantee it.
Already you've seen some scrambling about off this restart. Onside, Stone losing some ground, Hoffman losing some ground, Hodgson gaining some as Seminario watches that 92 go to the lowest point it's been for a while for that Nitro machine. The Nitro Racing car tries to keep it alongside of the outside.
Hard racing. Most of these guys are hitting the wall, it seems like, coming off that corner. So, I mean, that's not really surprising anymore. As Hastings almost got into the back of Marty, but yeah, you're exactly right. Looking up here at Seminario battling with the 92. Just trying to get everything possible that you can get, and it looks like Seminario will prevail in that battle. And Thompson is trying to make a move to the bottom of Hoffman. They're going to try and battle as well. I think Hoffman's dropping back like a rock for some reason, just can't seem to get comfortable as he finally settles in here in the 8th. That will put him single file with the first battle on track now, with Paul Hill sitting right now in the 13th place spot.
Yeah. Good recoveries for some drivers. Others just trying to drive it out, see where they can lie when it comes to things. Keep in mind, Thompson has been able to drive top 10 despite the fact he's crumpled up the entire right front from earlier contact in this race from an earlier incident. Davis able to get to the poke, clears by Heitman, now alongside Paul Hill.
Heading down onto this treacherous part of the track, very loose. They hang on to it. It looks like that Hill is going to have Davis to contend with. Slight contact there. That sends him up the hill. Davis is going to have a run, but Hill's going to have a bigger run. Here they come off the corner. Slight contact with the wall, and a push from Heitman might get the job done for Hill as he's trying to make a move on Thompson now to the outside.
Yeah, just trying to make the move. That's the thing. And keep in mind, that damage is going to be hurting the 13. In terms of speed, he's doing a great job despite the crumpled fender.
He's hanging on to it, but one thing I do want to mention is we have a car that is a lap down currently leading this entire line. That's Armin's Juan Petrovic. He is trying to stay out of the way of the leaders, but oh my goodness gracious, that was a little close there. That 90 car of Juan Petrovic is trying to hang on to it. Again, this guy, he had a rough run last week, but he's trying to recover and just, finish out the race and have a good run here. That driver is an interesting character, but everybody seems to be trying to avoid him right now. Just starting to do the snake, going around him like that. A few cars blinking in and out there, as now we're looking at Lucas Hoeksma there in the 97. We got a new contender on his rear bumper. We were talking about him earlier, Nolan Hodgson, getting back up through this field, and now every spot is that much harder to pass. So Nolan goes from the back to up 7th now, trying to gain some more spots and see if he's able to get by Lucas Hoeksma. Oh, contact with Juan Petrovic and Tanner Marty back there in the back of the field. That's going to cause a little bit of damage to that 90 car. He's just off the pace, and now, so also I do have to mention, Patrick Gitter is only up to 20th. They're battling for 20 right now with Kolmacheski, but he has not shown much recovery speed whatsoever so far. So if he's going to have a chance to get back up to the front of this field, he's going to have to do it on strategy.
Yeah, this is not looking great for the Fortis machine overall. He does get in the top 20 with that move, but that hit. It's knocked out speed for sure. And that's the thing about these cars. Talking to people from when this car especially came out in the past couple of years, there is sometimes unrepairable damage you can pick up in these races where even if you fix your car 100% in the sim, it's not 100% fixed overall.
It's not a perfect car. It's not going to be a perfect car. Once you get any amount of damage, I've always thought it's never going to be the same. So, I mean, at this point, he's going to have to fight back and, you know, beat him on the long run, which it looks like he's doing now. He's getting to the inside of the 71. But yeah, we had a couple cars make contact back here, which is why we brought up Patrick Gitter here. He had some issues where some contact sent him to the back. And we're now looking at DeCiani. Remember, DeCiani ended up having a different strategy than most. He came in early, and now he's sitting in 17th, but he has a slight amount fresher tires than everybody else, I believe. So maybe right now is a good time for him to be saving tires, so that way whenever he does decide to hit the go button, he'll have a little bit in the tank along with those few laps that he didn't have to run on him. So that might be something beneficial for him, but he's looking all over the rear bumper now. That green 65 car driven by Sean O'Brien Jr. doing a great job trying to hang on to it. But yeah, throughout the front end of this field, everybody has gotten single filed out. Delaney, everybody through the field after him is now single file with a handful of folks right on the rear bumper of others trying to make moves, or at least set them up for the right move. But yeah, we're going to get stringed out here for a while as others are going to try and do tire strat as O'Brien gets up into the wall, and we have the 4-car DeCiani get by him. So that covers that battle there. It's a 64 in the 23 also battle. Complete lap number with 102 laps to go in the race.
There's still a lot more laps to log around this racetrack. The stages tonight, interesting when it comes to these distances when you think about it. But some of the air drivers, Dustin Hall, still trying to chug along. Significant damage. Currently the last on track at the moment. Well, on the lead lappers, I should say.
Yeah, remember, he got involved in that accident, pretty big front-end damage. He's not going to have a chance to be able to recover from that big old damage. I don't anticipate that one car being any sort of, character where they're able to come back from that. It was significant enough of a hit to where his front nose bent up, so I don't think he's going to be back out there doing too well for the rest of the race now as we switch over to DeCiani. Watching that 4-car make some moves here and there. He just made another move on Paget. He moves up again another spot. That puts him up to the top 15. So that move to come down, take tires a little sooner, helping him now. But what will that do for the end of the race whenever we might have a set less tires than everybody else?
Yeah. And mind you, there's a lot of openness for that strategy on the tires. When people are going to come in compared to when they're going to try and stretch things out. It is expected to be a one-stopper regardless in this stage to make it to the end here. It's just going to be when do they come in. We're already near 30 laps of the run, by the way. These cars should go around 70 to 90 laps, give or take, on the fuel tank. Hoytsma, by the way, battling right now for 6th. Hodgson wants a spot.
He's moving up. It's his time. He's going. He hit go button. He is now doing go time. He moves up to, it looks like that would be 6th place. And now he's going to try and chase down the back bumper of Robert Miller right in front of him. We know that 12 car had speed. He was in the top 2 for the majority of the beginning of this race. And he was able to catch the leaders at one point. So I think he's got the speed in his car to compete at a high level and possibly even win this race if he's put in the right position. He's got a ways to go, but for right now, he's definitely doing the right thing, going 1 car at a time. Don't need to rush him, don't need to move anybody, don't need to get on anybody's nerves. Just 1 car at a time. As it looks like now that 79 made a little contact with Thompson. That's Davis and Thompson here, racing really hard, close quarter racing, heading out for turn number 4, side by side through the dog leg now. Will the 79 dip down? He sure will, trying to make sure he doesn't spin that thing out. DeCiani has reached this pack, and now it looks like the DeCiani went from 15th to 14th and now looking to take away 13th, 12th, and maybe even further down the list. That 4 car has a lot of speed. We're going to see him come through this field.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bit of a hit to the bumper.
He's just saying, hey, I'm here. That's all he was doing. It's all good.
Yeah, a little bit of a deep send that time by DeCiani. Now Thompson weeble wobbles off the bottom of the racetrack, opens the door for the 4. DeCiani trying to jump to the open door.
Weeble wobble. I like that a lot. That's pretty funny. But yeah, nope, he's definitely right. He's weeble wobbled off the bottom straight up to the top. Here comes DeCiani to the bottom trying to get by him. Again, this is just showing that, remember, the 4 car has a little fresher tires than everybody else around him. So that's why he has a little bit extra oomph, why we've been talking about him, because this strategy's a little different than everybody else's. He's got maybe like 3 or 4 lap fresher tires than those that he's running right now. And so that gives him a slight advantage because every lap that you run out here on these tires, you know, it kills the tire. We were talking about fastest laps. These guys have already dropped an entire second off of their fastest laps, and just from the last restart. So it's that big of a fall off. So over time, it's just going to grow and grow and grow and get slower and slower and slower because the car's tires can't hang on to it. They can't take it. Got to keep pushing. As it looks like Hastings looking to the outside of Truell. This is the 22nd and 21st. These 2 guys are really hard to race. I've raced with them myself several times, and these guys are just very difficult folks to pass. So we're going to see what they're able to do here as we have looks like single file throughout the entirety of most of the top 10. The first side-by-side battle I see on track, or at least one that's close to being side-by-side. They're not. There isn't one. There's only cars that are lapped down that are getting passed left and right, the Evan Mesnard and Armin Zwan Petrovic. But those are the only 2 that I see running side-by-side with anybody. So these guys have all settled down. They realize what we got to do now is save some tire, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to go out there and try and save some tire. Patrick Gitter is making some moves here. That's actually the first side-by-side battle we've had in a couple laps. He's to the inside of the 13 car, but then again, remember, we saw that 13 falling back earlier. He wibble-wobbled off the bottom, remember? So we got Gitter trying to make a move on him as well.
Indeed, as Gitter makes the move, as they try and settle it in. Still 90 laps to go in this race here from Phoenix. Real quickly, well, things seem to be hitting a bit of a calming point. Want to mention an event coming up when it comes to Maconi Entertainment. If you're looking for a competitive event with cash on the line, Maconi Sub Shop is hosting a new Content Clash March 10th to 11th. A 2-night event featuring the Legends and ARC Menard cars, South Boston and Charlotte. That'll run with the current cars on Monday and the new cars on Tuesday. Top 30 drivers earn their money back with points. There's over $650 in cash prize available. The custom 3.3-foot trophy for the overall champion. Entry is $10 per night or $15 for both. Sign-ups are open now at MaconiSetupShop.com/event-setups. Get in while you can, and we'll see you on the track. Still keeping an eye on things on the track, as that update's going to really change things as well. You'd have to think when it comes to things, when it comes to potential tire dynamics. I've heard the tire model's a talking point. A lot of potential changes with the update for these drivers to deal with soon.
A lot of changes that are going to be coming to these cars in the coming years. I mean, it's going to be so exciting to see what iRacing does once they release this on Tuesday, later Monday evening, I should say. It's going to be a lot of fun or Tuesday, whenever we get to get these cars. We have been waiting for years for a new ARCA car. It's going to be a lot of fun for the drivers and for all those that are watching here. If you ever do want to come on iRacing, it is a great simulator to join, a great community. Get to race against some drivers that you may even have seen on television. Oh, contact! That 13's hard into the wall. The 79's involved. That is unfortunate. That's going to probably end that 13 car's left front's ability to turn. That most certainly affected his car. Let's take a look at that. It looks like they came off the corner there, and that 79 and the 13 were battling here. Again, that spot that they were racing for, I believe, was for 14th at the time. Just came up, the 13 came up into him and just hard left side damage. Again, That 13 car is Cameron Thompson. They were racing really hard for that spot. The 79 actually got up in the marbles, so much so that it checked him up to the point where 13 was not expecting him to be there. So unfortunately, he just made contact and went down to the wall, and he's going to have a hard time coming back from that when he's in the pits now.
It's not gone well in terms of the momentum now for 13. He's already lost a lap with that and has already jumped out of the car with significant damage to his day. So that leaves us 25 cars currently running on the lead lap, by the way things are shaking out. So keep an eye on the drivers for 16th, 17th, 18th-ish on screen. So talking about things in terms of what you think this could do for the strategy case of things, what's going to be that mindset now for that said scheduled stop coming soon? We're almost halfway to the run. How long do you expect it to go, this run?
As long as humanly possible. This is a short track, meaning that the long run, there's a saying amongst drivers in these top split races, the best of the best, they always like to believe that the long run, staying out as long as humanly possible, is going to always work. Always. Very rarely do you have a race where, like, for example, this race is very unlikely to go green to the end. A lot of drivers would tell you that they do not believe this race will go to the end without another caution. And if they were to receive a caution, then who does that benefit? That benefits the people who stayed out the longest, and everybody else who pitted will have to come down and pit again, because all the people who didn't pit will be able to come down and get fresh tires, and they'll be fast early in the run, and they'll have the track position, because everybody who may have pitted 20 laps sooner, 10 laps sooner, whatever it may have been, will have 10 lap older tires. They'll be behind the guys that are faster, and there's no way for them to be able to catch them unless they stay out on 10 lap old tires, and that does not work unless we have maybe 13 laps to go, 10 laps to go. But we have a couple cars. Derek Heitman from 14th, he will come down pit lane. It could be any time, but they want to go as long as they can before they have to come down pit lane. That's going to be the strategy. You do not want to stay out there for too long. So make sure you get to the end of your fuel run and then pit.
Derek Heitman has just pit, by the way. So a few drivers are indicating pit stops already, it looks like, in some of these circumstances. Keep an eye on that as the run progresses here. Remember, Heitman was off cycle earlier as well. We've seen a couple people. So he's now in for the scheduled service. Off and away, 14.8 seconds in the box.
I do love that camera shot where you can see the cars coming out of the pit lane and then all the cars on track going by. The one thing that's a benefit to that 76 right now, his only goal should be, don't wreck anybody, pass as many people as I can, make up as much ground as I can as quickly as I can, and then try and maintain that pace. Don't burn my stuff up. He's going to have to pass a lot of cars. He's going to have to do it really quickly, and as his car is already loose. We already know that. He's had a loose race car in most of this race, most like everybody else. But he's got to make moves now to get by all these cars that were like that he came out with. So he's going to be able to pass Bobby Anderson. There's Hastings there. A few other cars that are going to be on older tires. That's going to slow him down. As it looks like we have another car coming down into the pit lane. Again, that is Shane Davis in the 79 car pitting from around the same area. So that puts him on the same strategy. Remember, he has a little bit of right side and left side damage from that contact with the 13 car. A little less damage compared to what the 13 got, but he's still hanging on to it, and he's still doing a great job.
Yes, indeed. Shane Davis in. So, pit window keeps on moving forward for these drivers. Should see a flurry of activity pretty soon for a lot of these competitors, as we see DeCiani trying to find its way around Hill still for the top 10. Hudson, how's things going for him? He's trying to move up to the top 5, pressurizing the back of the 57 at the moment.
Cameron Stone, man, he's a cool cat. That's all I can say about Cameron Stone. We got that 12 car. He's going to do everything he can to try and get by him, so that way he's able to get up to 4th. Robert Miller there but he's got to get by Cameron Stone. We'll see what he's able to do. He's been running on the back bumper of Cameron for a while now. I don't anticipate that move actually working for a while, but he has been there. So if Cameron makes a mistake, Ralph Hutchinson just pitted, by the way. Want to make sure that we let you know about that. These guys, if he makes a mistake, then Nolan's able to jump him just like that. He's right there. He's in the right position. So as long as they don't make a mistake, once you get to this position, just wait for the right opportunity. It will come to you. Just sit there and wait, and it'll happen. We're looking now at the battle here between the 76. Heitman, again, he has fresh tires. He is out there. He's pushing hard. He had a different strategy before. We talked about that. He's running a lot faster than these guys, almost a second a lap faster of Miller and Paget here. These guys are battling pretty dang hard for their spot, trying to hang on to what they got.
Yeah, right now at this point, drivers just trying to go forward with the longest run of the race so far. Be able to keep things going, keep tempos moving forward, make sure they maintain lead lap prestige. Hodgson taking a peek to the inside. Can he get alongside? No, not yet. So, it's still early in the season, too, to keep in mind as well. They still have a lot of these types of racetracks they're going to have to deal with this season, obviously. After all, next week is going to be the track like Las Vegas. And that's going to be a different type of race, too, where that's going to be another test on setup ability for these drivers.
Las Vegas is very setup dependent. That right front rarely does burn off pretty quick if you have it set to something that will burn it off, or the right rear wheel. It just depends on how you set up your car. So it's going to be interesting to see which one will prevail when we go there here next week. It's going to be exciting. A lot of hard battles, as it looks like. Here comes Andrew Dyson, battle for the third place spot. He's going to the bottom. He's going to get by Matthew Long, and Matthew does not put up much of a fight whatsoever. That 41 just turned on the jets, and he just got gone. But yeah, for next week, we still got Vegas coming. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it starts same time that we had tonight. So next Saturday, just make sure you tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun, and these guys, it's a very entertaining racetrack, as it looks like Nolan got underneath the 57 of Cameron Stone. Is he going to be able to make a move? Not quite yet this time.
Not yet. Just staying lined up and waiting for his opportunity. It looks like he's a little bit faster, just can't get alongside quite yet to make the pass fully. Now he does, and looks like he will make the pass. Stone lets him go, as here comes Hoytsma.
I don't think he let him go. I think he did a little bit of a slider there, but definitely Cameron was willing to be a little nice to him. Give him a little, excuse me. No, also Stone's dropping like a stone. There he goes. He just lost another spot. Remember, that's not for position though. We want to make sure we reiterate that. That 76 is on fresh tires, so not quite for position, but he's still side by side with Hoytsma, which is for position, and it's not Dave Hoytsma, it is Lucas Hoytsma. We got a caution. Caution is out. That's going to change everything. Oh no.
Corey Cook getting turned around. Jordan Pearson also collected. And under caution, something obviously happened to Corey Cook, because he was on the radio beforehand saying he couldn't turn. Destroyed the wall coming out of turn 3. Turn 2, I should say, and then destroyed a car in turn 3.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. That's unfortunate. You know for a fact that he didn't mean to do that on purpose. I don't think that was a on purpose thing. All the leaders are coming down pit road now, but that is going to be something that's going to probably be looked at. So once that right front tire breaks, you can't turn the dang thing. And unfortunately, when you're in the moment, sometimes you get angry at yourself and you just focus on yourself for about 2 seconds. And then when you do that, you find yourself 2 lanes lower than you need to be, instead of staying up against the wall. So unfortunate way for that race to end for both drivers. They might be able to get it fixed and get back out there, but they most certainly are out of contention now, as it looks like Delaney trying to get out of the pits. Goes out wide, and let's see if he's able to hang on to this lead spot. it looks like he will.
So again, pit stop sequence complete there. No issues for Delaney, Dyson, Lawn, Hudson, Stone. The race out pit road. Taking a break. More coverage of the Full Length Cup Challenge after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, everyone, to Phoenix for more coverage of the FLCC. Coming up to a restart, Jonathan Delaney's led 84 laps tonight. Andrew Dyson starting second for this restart, leading 2. Matthew Long, Nolan Hudson, Lucas Hoytsman, Cam Stone, the top 6. Seminario Miller. Gitter is now up to 9th. DeCiani alongside him amongst the top 10. Justin Prince alongside Kirk Mills, DJ Lyon producing as we come up to the restart. 63 laps to go. Everybody is good to go on fuel now. And the green comes back out. We're underway.
Heading through the dog leg. Let's see if they hang on to it. Looks like they do this time around. Heading up into turn number 1 and 2. Again, side-by-side battle for second there between the 28 of Matthew Long and the 41 of Andrew Dyson. Caution's back out on the racetrack.
Back under yellow again as the field will reset. Komacheski amongst those turned around on this yellow flag. So the 88 having some problems that sparks us under yellow.
Cautions breed cautions. We say it all the time. We may have had a great long run a moment ago, but that all ends in the moment that yellow flag comes back out. So let's take a look here in a moment to see exactly what may have turned that 88 car around. Here they go on a straight. Whoa. I don't know exactly what may have caused that. The car just did not want to turn. That was interesting. Let's look at that again here. I think that was a interesting thing. Let's see how that may have happened. Oh, the 81 of Hastings. Hastings dived in there and did not expect the 88 to check up as much as he did. And that ended up collecting the 71 of Hunter Truell as well. So only 3 cars involved in that particular incident, but it was not at all the 88's fault there. It just looks like that 81 car of Hastings, Brandon Hastings, just got in there a little too deep and got him a little loose, sent him up into the other car.
Let's back under yellow once again. As Komacheski going to spend a fair amount of time to get some repairs done on the car after that hard hit to his machine. Let's talk about that event one more time coming up. If you're looking for a competitive event with cash on the line, Maconi Setup Shop is hosting a new content clash on March 10th and 11th. This event features Legends and ARCA Menard Series races at South Boston, Charlotte, respectively. This event will utilize the current cars on the Monday and the new cars on the Tuesday. Top 30 drivers earn their money back with $650 in cash prizes, custom 3 trophy for the overall champion. Entry is just $10 a night or $15 for both. Sign-ups available now at MaconiSetupShop.com/event-setups. Get in while you can, and we'll see you on the track.
They're excited for that event. It's going to be a great event.
Are you going to run in the event?
Oh, I can't. I can't do it. But I know a lot of folks that are going to go out there and they're going to race hard. They're going to go out there and do a lot of fun. And I know I'll be watching from afar, so definitely going to be a heck of an event. Wish I could, but unfortunately just won't have the availability. It's going to be a great thing to watch, though, and definitely if you want to compete, it's something that I would definitely recommend it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm really curious about the new ARCA Menards cards, though, to be able to finally see 3 different manufacturers, the first update to that car in decades.
Oh, man, so are we. Every single driver seems to want to get their hands on that car. I mean, DJ Yee probably is the number one guy I think I know that would probably want that on as quickly as possible, because that was his bread and butter, that car. So unfortunately he's going to have to learn a whole new one as we're about to go back green underway here for the Full Length Cup Challenge here at Phoenix. Here comes the leader into the restart zone, and Delaney's going to jump right off. Here we go into the restart. We're back underway here at Phoenix.
Yet again, control car gets a big jump, and the battle for second immediately kicks off. Side by side for the Dirty South entries as guess who's up in the top 3 conversation? Noah Hudson, for the first time since his penalty for going below the yellow line earlier in the race. He's now looking for third.
After a rough week last week and a bad penalty here that sent him to the back, he is showing that he belongs up in the front, and he's deserving of that sticker he's got above his door there, that winner sticker that all the drivers who have won a race already have above their door. He won that race at Atlanta after being in the right place at the right time, but this time he's earning this one. He's side by side with Matthew Long on the outside. He's going to be put up to third, and that's going to move him into a position where he now has a chance to battle for this race win. Very exciting for him.
You know what's interesting about that paint scheme, by the way, with the 12? You would think, oh, that's just the iRacing default with, you know, the banner attached to it. No, this is by choice, that paint scheme. He put the sticker on that paint scheme that looks like the iRacing default and has ridden with it tonight.
He's an interesting character, to say the least. The paint scheme he runs, it's the same every week. He says that he just doesn't want to change it. And I like, to each their own, you know. I mean, I drive a weird paint scheme myself. I always have a car that's a little strange, but that's okay. And that's what the best part about, one of my favorite parts about racing is that it doesn't matter what you put on the dang car as long as you bring it to the track and compete well. But speaking of comeback, would you look at Patrick Gitter? Where did he come from? He was in the back for the majority of that little run there, and now he's cracked the top 10. He's up to 9th. What a move. What a recovery. I didn't expect to see him back up front. He was in the back 20s for that little run that we had a little while ago.
Yeah, he's starting to go a little bit better now as this run progresses. But the problem's going to be getting a chance to be able to get some breathing room. He has DeCiani now alongside a teammate for 8th. Does DeCiani get some give or take here?
I don't know if he's going to be able to give him any give. I mean, they're racing for a top 10 spot here for a chance to win the race. You got to get through these drivers. You got to do it quick, because if you get stuck behind them, you lose more and more time. We saw how long it took Nolan to go from 8th to now 3rd. It took him almost 50 laps to do that. So, I mean, 21 is going to have to put on quite a show to be able to get through these cars. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. I mean, I'm not going to say he can't, but it's definitely going to be something that he's going to have to drive the wheels off that car to be able to do. And he's got well over, I think it is, what is it? It's about 2 seconds to make up to the leader, and he's got to pass cars at the same time. So We'll see what they decide to do. They're single file throughout most of the field, going all the way back to the tail end of the field. They're all single file. They're all settling in, riding as hard as they can, knowing that they got 53 laps to go. It's go time. Get to the front and do it quick.
But not too quick, because you don't want to destroy your right front tire.
Yeah, of course, like that 26 doing. Paul Hill just went up into the marbles. Excuse me, yeah, Paul Hill just went up in the marbles. Almost wrecked the dang thing, held on to it, and O'Brien, he's going to tuck in right in front of him. As Truell's right behind O'Brien as well. But yeah, don't want to burn him up too quick, but I still think now you got to go. It's about track position now. You got to get as much as you can now, because the moment that we have a guy dive it in too deep, like this, slight almost contact there, as it looks like Seminario's having a little bit of a connection issue there. We'll see if he's able to hang on to it. Next week, whenever that new flag system comes out for the disconnectivity type of thing, if that is going to be something equivalent, I think, to a tire blowing in real life or an engine expiring, you never know who might get that flag if you're having bad internet connection issues. Like now, they just blink in and out. But if that were to continue into the coming weeks, when we go to Vegas, when we go on to other tracks, this is going to be a big problem, where it might send cars that may have been running in the top 10 to the pits right then and there until their connection improves, which is something that will most certainly change the dynamic of driving these cars, and might make some drivers consider upgrading their internet connection, or at least finding something that might be better. If there isn't anything, then out of luck. It's unfortunate, but it's what they got to do coming up next week whenever they implement that new connection flag.
It's going to be an interesting time to see how that's going to impact things, similar to that of the meatball flag. But all that being said, the field's starting to get single-filed and strung out a little bit. Tanner Marti amongst those in the focus, currently running 17th. Amongst those that has gone up 15 as the race has gone on.
Most of the cars that I'm seeing here in the top 20 all started like a little farther back. Like just to mention, the leader of this race, Jonathan Delaney, started 18th. Matthew Long's in 4th, 23rd. We have the 30th place starter, Paul Hill, started 30th. Now he's running 11th. Correction, 12th. He just lost his spot. But he's still battling up in these higher positions. The further we go down, the more we'll start seeing further back cars. But I am really impressed with throughout all these accidents and crashes that's taken drivers out. There's one driver that may not have a lot of speed. He's not a guy who's quote unquote fast, but he's still learning. He's picking up things every day. And the main goal of these races to him is to get to the end. He wants to at least survive. And doing that is going to maybe give him a top 20. It's Armin's Juan Petrovic in the 90 car. I've been wanting to talk about this guy for a long time. I had the luxury of being able to speak to this gentleman last week, and I gotta tell you, this guy is really dang cool. He's from Latvia, and this guy gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning to come and race with us in this series. And we gotta give him a lot of props for being willing to do that. This is not something that's extremely popular in Latvia. Racing across from all over the world comes to our series, and he's willing to come and run here in that 90 car. Sure, he may not have the fastest car out there, or he may not be the best driver out there, but he's definitely somebody that I have a lot of respect for. And honestly, I think he's become a new favorite driver for me. Just knowing that he's coming out here from all out in the middle of a place that I've only ever heard of from a comedian, Gottis Candace from the Britain's Got Talent series. If you guys have ever seen that guy, really funny guy. But that's the only one I've ever seen from that part of the world. So it's amazing to see how he's able to come back and come and try this here. And I hope he learns a lot, and I hope he finds joy in it and does well. He avoided all the accidents today. He's up to 21st. So that's amazing that he's been able to recover from going a lap down earlier, avoiding all the accidents, and still, maintaining in a race type of racing that he's not comfortable with in a car with a setup that may not be the best out there. But I did want to give him a shout out because he's been doing a great job.
Big shout to him, absolutely. Mind you, by the way, Derek Heitman Amongst those that was put off strategy as a result of his pit stop in the time of the caution flag, trying to make up a lot of ground. He's in 13th at the moment.
Moving up through the field, yeah, back up to these guys up in the front, that 76 car. His strategy didn't work out too well for him, unfortunately. He was hoping that caution wouldn't come out, but it did, and that ended up sending him back to the point where he even came down pit road, and he might have had an issue on pit road, so he's trying to make his way through these cars again. Remember, this guy is the guy who's running in the top 5 most of his race, but now he's at a point where he can't get back up to the front just because the strategy didn't work out in his favor. However, that could just as easily gone his way. It just depends on circumstances, when the cautions fall, and if you could predict when a caution falls, then, you know, if you could tell me when the caution falls, I'll tell you exactly when to pit. That's what most folks like to say. But most of the time, we don't know exactly when they were going to fall. We only know when the 2 stages come, and that's it. And we got to be able to strategize the rest of the race. You know, ever since they've implemented the stage caution out into this style of racing, it makes it so these drivers don't really have too many choices to make, because back in the day, whenever they were racing Gen 4, Gen 5 cars, a little bit of Gen 5, these cars were, you had to plan for a full 312 lap race without any cautions, and you just plan for that, and then you change your strategy based on when the cautions flew. You never knew when it would happen. And but now with stage racing, it kind of makes it a little easier on the heads of these drivers to decide when I need to pit and when I don't need to pit. Again, and looking here at the most positions gained, pardon me, Armin Jan Petrovic, like I was talking about, leading that line, going from the back all the way to 21 spots forward to now sitting in 21st. So he went from dead last to running in a good spot. So again, I'm happy to hear that he's able to recover from that. As we got a battle now, the 15 of Patrick, the 15 and the 21 of Patrick Gitter. That's Robert Miller, I believe that they're battling for now. This is the battle for 7th, it looks like. Gitter's gonna prevail here. And remember, they don't got a lot of time here. We only got 37 laps to go. That 21's got a long way to go if he wants to win this race.
Yes, indeed. Still plenty of laps to go, 37 of them specifically. Things are looking. Gitter in 7th. Looking at one of the other battles, Jeremy Miller now reeled in by Heitman. Heitman taking a hard cut left to get alongside and make the move. That puts him back in 11th.
Get everything you can, 76, because you don't know when a caution might come out. Remember what we were talking about before. Tell me when a caution comes out, I'll tell you when to pit. But right now, pitting is not on the minds of anybody, I think, at this. But if we get a caution, oh boy, it's going to get busy down there on pit lane. But it might not get super busy if it's like with 2 to go or something like that. We'll see what actually happens down the line. But they're staying top 6. Let's see, how many cars are on the lead lap? We got about 22 cars that are staying on the lead lap right now. And those that are in contention to win, I'd say the ones that actually have a shot here might be Delaney, Dyson, and Hodson. Maybe Matthew Long if he's able to get a huge run or saving tires, but these front 4 might be the cutoff here because they're all staying within about 2 seconds of each other. And it's going to be hard to make up that ground as Delaney is being just absolutely dominating over this field. Fast car this week, doing a great job. But remember, Andrew Dyson has the fastest car on the racetrack right now. He's sitting 2nd. Maybe he's saving a little something in the back of his little box here to try and bring out a little later in this race. We're looking at the lap times. You can see that Andrew Dyson was about a 10th faster. A little under a 10th faster than Jonathan Delaney. So we're going to see that constantly change from lap to lap, and maybe Dyson might have a bad lap, maybe Delaney might have a bad lap, but that last time by, it was a half a 10th. But this time by, as they crossed the stripe, to let you know, they crossed the stripe, Delaney got a 28.55, and Dyson got a 28.62. So that actually evens it out. So they're running very similar lap times. They're not separating too much. Different lines, you can see the 6 cars running a little wider as it looks like we got a battle now between the 15 and the 57. That's Cameron Stone and Robert Miller battling for the 7th place spot. Robert Miller might have burnt up his tires. because we're starting to see him drop a little bit. And that will put Cameron Stone, maybe. Let's see if he's able to come back on the outside. That Zen Zinneman car versus Cyclones. I think Cyclones might have it here. Yes, he will. So he moves up. That 15 goes back up to the 7th place spot right behind Patrick Gibbon.
Good move in that sequence to be able to make that work. Miller's had good speed all night, to give him credit. He's had top 5 pace. You can argue from the start. Started with the speed in the short run tonight, just has been able to maintain that pace as the long runs progressed in one of the Altus cars.
Okay, well, I mean, right now, I don't, oh, we might actually have a battle now. DeCiani is actually making a look here to the bottom of Cameron Stone. He tried to make a move there. I think we're going to have to watch Cameron Stone, because I think it's Stone who's actually dropping back here. Might have some old tire syndrome going off, where he may have pushed a little hard early on to the point where now he's paying the price. He's starting to drop back, and DeCiani is going to try and make a move. And that whole strategy that DeCiani had a few runs ago seems to have worked out for him. He's now battling with Cameron Stone again. It's a battle for 8th, top 10. Great day, no matter what. If you're a race car driver, you're most people, with the exception of a select few that have just the winner mentality, that go out here, would love top 10s. I guarantee you, especially against the drivers that we have in this particular field. Delaney, Dyson, Hodson, Long, these guys are all out there. They're really fast, and it's hard to beat. Up the hill, slight almost contact there. They hang on to it, but still side by side for this spot. I don't think DeCiani's going to be able to get the side draft to work for him, but he somehow does. Even him out into the corner here. Will Stone get a good run? Ford's coming up. Not quite. Ford's going to cut here. Will he get loose? Nope, hangs on to it. There's a side-by-side heading into turns 1 and 2 again. Ford sliding up, hang on to it. He's almost hitting that 57, but Stone's keeping him honest, I guess is the way to put it. So Stone hits the wall slightly there that time by. And that's not the only battle going on. Right in front of this right now. Oh, hang on to it. We got also another battle with Robert Miller and Patrick Gitter. They're going at it again. DeCiani makes the pass on Stone. That moves him up. Now Patrick Gitter to the outside of Miller here. Miller's trying to move up another spot. I don't think Gitter's got it in him right now. He doesn't have the speed to be able to get back up towards the leaders, but he's still running top 10. He had a great speed all race, and I guarantee you, he's definitely going to remember that move that the 6 pulled on him here to be able to get by him back in a few stages ago at the end, towards the end of the last stage. So with Miller trying to move up an extra spot, that would put them up to the 6th place spot if he's able to complete this pass. He's still battling side by side right now through turns 1 and 2, but I still think Gitter might have a run, but no, Miller's staying tough. He's still able to hang on. He's going to use that side draft, slow the 21 car down. This is going to slow them both down to make the 5th place spot almost out of reach. Lucas Hoetzma out there in 5th. Still side by side as they head the complete lap there, and that would put us 24 to go.
24 laps to go here from Phoenix. Gitter able to hold on to 6th spot for now with the high line. Right now that lead has stayed 6/10 for those wondering. While Gitter still has not been able to close the deal yet in this pass. Still has not been able to get alongside fully, or rather clear himself. But it's Miller who slides up in front. And that's going to be the tough thing about battles like that. You may have the speed to be able to get alongside, but it could take so long to be able to try and make a pass. And sometimes, if you don't get it done fully, you get passed back.
Yeah, burn up your stuff. We just saw that right now with Cameron Stone. Cameron Stone just got passed by Derek Heitman, who now moves up to 9th. So that's another spot lost for Cameron Stone. We were talking about him, how he was up running with where Robert Miller was at a little bit ago, battling for 6th, but he has dropped back now to 9th, almost outside, 10th now actually, as he crosses the stripe. That puts him almost outside of the top 10. He's at the verge of losing the top 10, but luckily for him, the next guy that's anywhere near him is Johan Seminario, and that's only about maybe about 6/10 of a second off. So he's got a ways before he has to actually deal with Seminario. Maybe he can cool his tires in that time. but we still got another battle on track right now. We're looking at Hunter Truwell and the 26 of Paul Hill. These guys, remember, these guys are fast. They were up front during the speedway races, the super speedway races. And now this is their chance to be able to show, hey, I can still compete really well on the short tracks. I know what I'm doing. They're trying to battle for a top 15 spot. Not a bad day, great points day. Try and get by and just finish out this race without any incident. But the number one thing these drivers do not want to see right now is a caution. If we get a car around, if we have something happen, then all heck might just break loose, because they're going to come down and get tires, and then that would change the entire complexion of this race. So the number one thing on these drivers' minds, please no caution if you're in the front, and if you're in the back, you're thinking about it. You're like somehow praying to somebody, asking for a caution at some point. If you're in the back half and say, please give me another shot, I need it. But time will tell if we'll get one or if we'll go green to the end here. Slightly loose for Hill after he come off that corner as well, but only time will tell if we'll get a caution.
Time will tell with Aldine's fair out here, absolutely. Sees the 02 slipping and sliding his way around the 26, a bit of a slide up the track. There are 20 laps to go. It's been a race to remember for some. It's been a race to forget for others here. What's really stood out to you as this night's going on with this race, especially knowing you have some of the battles closing up and compressing for the final stretch?
I am very surprised with what stood out to me is the drivers of Matthew Long, Jonathan Delaney. They got to the top 5 after starting outside the top 15. Phenomenal jobs by the drivers to be able to do that. That's a standout moment to me. Another standout moment would be the fact that Adam Benethel, who has had a great year so far, who started 9th, unfortunately had something happen to him to where he had to come down pit lane and he had to end his day early. He's going to finish 36th here today. Can't gain anything. He's not going to lose anything either. A few other cars that also may have surprised me is thinking about the driver that didn't start today for some reason. I'm not sure if they were having computer issues or what, but Christopher Hill, who's one of the Coke drivers this year, is competing in this full time as well, but he was going to start second. He was going to be up here towards the front with these guys, but unfortunately he just had something happen to where he couldn't come back into the race. So that's surprising. That's going to hit him hard in the points. Few other cars that might have stood out for this particular race. Patrick Gitter, his misfortune, we saw him. He went from being up front, leading this thing. He was going to win this race if there were no contact, but then Delaney had other ideas. Delaney came up there, he raced him hard, got a little loose, slight contact, a mistake happened, and then carnage. He got into the wall, got him some damage, sent him to the back, and now he's trying to recover from it. He's still running in 8th. He's going to need a caution to be able to get back up to these guys that actually have a chance here. I don't know if that's going to happen. Another driver like him that came from the back and worked his way up to the front. Again, we talked about him a little bit earlier, but Mark Patchett, he started 24th. He's up to 13th. Top 15 day for him too. I bet he's very happy. He got involved in a couple incidents and is able to recover with 15 to go. That's the 02 car now battling with the 71. Seems to might be pulling away, so I think that might be a good point for him. But our leader, speaking of pulling away, went from 0.3 of a second to the second place car to now 7. So now in terms of who can win this race if it stays green, it's Delaney's race to lose. It's his race to lose.
Just has to hope it stays green and clean for him. Make sure there's no mistakes at the rate things are going at lap 300 already here from Phoenix. Still 22 cars in the lead lap. I think that would also emphasize just how equal a lot of the speed is overall wise in the field. Where for the most part, drivers have been within a 10th or 2 of the leader all night long. It's been hard to distinguish yourself on pace unless you've had track position established after the short run.
You need track position to be able to hang with these guys. You need track position. If you're not in the top 10 on the final restart, you do not have a chance. It's just you can't get through these guys. You can't. You can get stuck here at 8th like Gitter's got here. But we got to remember, Patrick Gitter, even though he had one of the fastest cars all day, is still 6 seconds back. Not because of, his speed might be affected a little bit, But I still think that mostly is because of the dirty air he's had to deal with. He can't get by these guys where before he was running with clean air, and now his setup is running with dirty air, which is going to change the way the car handles. We're coming to 10 to go. Delaney's got this right now. They crossed the stripe, and that gap went from 9.21 all the way to 9.993, which means that gap is growing in size, not shrinking. Unless Dyson can close a 10th a lap, I think Delaney's got this, without a caution, of course. We'll see what they decide to do, but again, a great recovery for Nolan Hodgson after the penalty. Got from the back all the way up to the front. He's running third. We saw a lot of comers and goers. That's what that's about. Look at him sitting there in third. He hopes for a caution more than anything right now. If he has a caution, he's back in this race. Again, there's no real close battles on track. I'm looking throughout the field right now, and I don't see anybody, with the exception of a couple lap cars, that are really pushing at all. I mean, everybody else is like really separated. They're doing the best that they can. We're looking now at Nolan Hodgson there on the top, and another driver there on the bottom. I'm trying to remember exactly who that is. I think that's Delaney, or not Delaney. That's Andrew Dyson.
Yeah, Andrew Dyson.
Dyson. Yep, my apologies. But yeah, Dyson, he's losing ground. I don't think he's going to be able to catch him today.
Yes, indeed. Right now, time ticking away. Quickly, Dyson going to be very happy, I think, regardless here with first place in one race, second in the other. Dyson might be a championship threat with how things are looking if he's able to maintain this at a mile and a half, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. But 7 laps to go here from Phoenix. How things are looking, there is lap traffic ahead. William Owens, it's the next lap car for the leaders to deal with. He's already chit-chatted on the radio to make sure the leaders know where he's going to be running when he is lapped. He's been told to stay high.
There was also a little bit of a moment back here in the back 30s. Juan Petrovic accidentally got into the 64 here. Dylan Kritz almost spun him out. That almost was the caution that the 6 car did not want to see. Luckily, the 64 was able to hang on to his car, and that was just unfortunate there. We'll see if, I don't see anywhere else on track where they're battling Paget. Here's Paget battling now with the 86 going down to the bottom of the racetrack side by side. This was for 12th. This is the only place that anybody's really close other than lap cars. But then again, lap cars can bring out cautions. Don't anticipate them being perfect either. Side by side, that 86 on the outside, that 02 on the bottom. Still even as they exit the corner.
Right now the short distance around for the 02 though. Miller just looking to get the squeeze back on for the corner exit. Having a hard time on the throttle to be able to get things picked up and carried forward here as Paget keeps it side by side, coming to 4 laps to go.
Again, the leaders are all separated by over a second at this point. Not going to see very much work happening up front unless Dyson had something sitting in his back pocket ready to go, but I don't see that happening right now. This is the only battle that I see on track anywhere. So this is what we're going to keep our eyes on for the moment. Again, the leaders are fine. They're all still running nose to tail, separated by a few tenths of a second throughout this field, but right now this is the only battle. Contact! He gets into the door there. Again, this is for the top 12th place spot, so it's not necessarily for a top 10, but these guys are driving hard, and everybody should have their eyes on this up here in the spotter stand. So this is going to be something to watch as we got only 3 laps to go, 2 laps here in a moment. I think Miller just let him go. Jeremy just let Mark go, and that will ultimately leave it to the 6 car. Will that 6 car have enough to be able to get to this end? I think he will, but he's got 2 more laps to show us what he's got. Lap and a half from here.
It took a physical battle for the race lead with Patrick Gitter. That seen contact, put Gitter in the wall with Delaney to take the race lead. But since then, Delaney has been able to maintain his speed and then some. White flag is out. Final time around here from Phoenix. Delaney looks to close out the race. So far, throughout the evening, we've seen people build up speed to be able to carry things forward for Delaney, leading things for about a third plus of the race. He'll take the checker flag by more than a second. Final corner, Jonathan Delaney gets the win from Phoenix and will do so by more than a second over Andrew Dyson to get his first W of the year.
What a great showing by that team and that driver, Jonathan Delaney. He's able to go out there and show exactly who he is, that he's made a statement. I'm going to be running for this championship. I'm going to have a chance now. Give me that winner sticker. I'm a winner now. That's what he's saying in his heart. He's probably really pumped. He had a great master class of a race. Went from the back to the front, never made any mistakes on pit road, stayed clean. And now he is the winner here at Phoenix and did a great job. Can't wait to see him come across this line here. Is he gonna do what I think he's gonna do? Let's see. Here we go. Zoom in tight. He comes to the line, does a burnout. Very happy about that one. Take a look at him. He's a happy camper just like that.
Is that a win sticker to that car as well? The run tonight. Delaney, Dyson, Hudson, the top three in this race. What a race. Let's take a break. More coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. You're watching coverage of the Full-Length Cup Challenge.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Full-Length Cup Challenge here from Phoenix. Let's take a look at our unofficial race results for tonight. It's Jonathan Delaney who took the victory over Andrew Dyson and Nolan Hodgson. Speak with those drivers in the next little bit. Then it was Matthew Long and Lucas Hoytsmith, the top 5, Robert Miller, Derek Heitman in 7th, Gitter, DeCiani, and Cameron Stone in 10th.
11th place finishers, Johan Seminario, followed by 12th, Mark Padgett, 13th, Jeremy Miller, 14th, Hunter Truell, and rounding out the top 15 will be Paul Hill. 16th is going to Sean O'Brien Jr., with 17th being Brandon Hastings. 18th will be Tanner Marty, 19th, Dustin Hall, and 20th will be Dylan Kritz.
21st went to Shane Davis. He was running top 10 at one point. Juan Petrovich finished 22nd. Madero's in 23rd. Ralph Hutchinson way back in 24th. At the very end, Owens in 25th. Komacheski, after his incident, 6 laps down in 26th. Pearson in 27th, with Anderson finishing back in 28th, 19 laps down. Mesnard in 29th, and Kevin Sosiak in 30th.
31st, Clayton Hoffman, Corey Cook, Cameron Thompson, 33rd there. 34th, Dave Hoetzma, Ryan Strunk, Adam Benefil, Alex Princeton, Billy Brickley, Chad Sanner, and Victor Fluger round out the top 40 with Jason Taylor, Stephen Williams, Tyler Hunter, and Christopher M. Hill did not start tonight's event. However, they did qualify, so they will be credited with a 44th place finish.
That's hooks on to bottom of the running order here tonight from iRacing's virtual Phoenix Raceway. Let's take the time to speak with our front runners tonight as Jonathan Delaney is able to take away with the race win. Overall, he led 148 laps. Jonathan, how are you feeling about the win tonight?
I feel really good. We had a really good car. Had a pretty bad qualifying lap, but we were able to work our way up and really find some clean air there towards the end of stage 1. And then we were able to get the lead in stage 2. So once we got the lead, it was pretty much smooth sailing from there. Just making some adjustments. We were making adjustments all race, trying to get the car dialed in. Track changed quite a bit. It was 10 to 15 degree track temp difference from the start of the race to the very end. So we were every time we pitted and came down pit road, we were doing something with the car. So got handling really good there at the end of that stage, or towards the end of the race, and yeah, it was just smooth sailing. Dyson was really fast there. I was always keeping an eye in my rear view mirror, keeping an eye for him, but at the end we were able to pull through and get the win.
Yeah, very strong run here tonight. And in your opinion, what makes a track like this so tricky when it comes to finding speed like you did during the race tonight, to be able to not only maintain it but make sure the car doesn't fall off? Because for the most part, most of the field stayed within about a couple tenths of the leader on pace on average.
Yeah, the field was very close. I'm not gonna lie, I was very surprised of how close the field was on speed. At least the top 10 was within like 4 seconds, which is pretty unheard of with how dirty air is and really with how these long runs are. Is you have people that are really good and then you have people that fall off at the long run. So, but for the most part, everybody kind of just stayed where they were. Whether that was, dirty air playing an effect with not being able to pass. I mean, passing was super hard. I mean, it's really hard. If you have 2 really good cars, it's super hard to pass. So, but yeah, in order to really fine tune your set here at a track like this, it's so crucial. I mean, if you could be race winning speed in one stage, and then you could be a 10th place car in the next stage because you missed it on the a change you did in the pits, whether you did too much or too little. Track temp's always a factor too. I mean, the track really plays a factor with how well your car handles throughout the race. And with these races, being almost 3 hours long, the track changes a lot. So you got to keep up with that. Make sure, you're staying up to date with how the track is handling and make sure your car is handling the best it can. So, yeah.
New build week coming up and a new racetrack on the weekend for next time out, Las Vegas. Your thoughts on that, knowing it's build week next week?
Yeah, we'll see how it is. I don't know. Who knows how much is going to change? It could be very, very little change, and you just maybe got to fine tune your setups, and it drives about the same, or it could be something completely massive and completely change how the car drives. I highly doubt it's a very big change. But who knows? iRacing is always kind of hard to tell and judge on what they're doing. So it'll be interesting to see. Las Vegas too. It's a nice track. You get to move around a lot there, both in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just kind of like how we are here at Phoenix. You get to move around. But dirty air is going to be a little bit more of a factor, and draft is as well. They're going to see that the pack's going to be even tighter. Las Vegas, you're probably not going to see anybody be able to break the draft, and everyone's going to be bumper to bumper for mostly the entire run. So yeah, it should be a fun one. I like Vegas too. Drives pretty good once it goes green and then spreads out. So we'll see how the build kind of changes it, and hopefully it's makes the racing a little better. But who knows? We'll see.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to on the way to the victory tonight?
Yep. Thank everyone with the setup building process at Ralph Hutchinson Motorsports for helping with that. Thank Logan Shees for dialing in the setup too during the pit or during the race today with some adjustments on pit road. Kevin Steele for the paint, stand analyzer. Thank you guys up in the booth for broadcasting, the admins that put this league together, and everyone who raced tonight was a blast for sure. It's definitely not a easy win. So congrats to Dyson and Nolan Hodgson. Nolan's been doing really good. So congrats to those guys getting podium, and we'll see you guys next week.
Congratulations on the win tonight.
Thank you.
Jonathan Delaney coming away with the race win tonight. He does so by more than a second over Andrew Dyson. Andrew's with Kirk.
Well, you were right there in contention for the win. Can you walk us through those final laps, what you were going through in your mind? And was there anything you could have done differently to take the victory away?
Well, I could have won the second stage. That would have got me in the lead and given me a good shot, but it didn't happen. So we got close, but it didn't quite happen. But yeah, I don't know. I think with around 20 to go, I was within half a second, and then I don't know, within the next few laps, sort of trying to stretch it out to 8 tenths, 9 tenths, 1 second. And at that stage, I was sort of like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get to him now. So I was doing the best I could to sort of stay as close as I could, just in case something happens with traffic or whatever. But at that stage, coming in with 15, 12 to go, I thought second is probably where I was going to finish, and sure enough, that's what happened. But pretty happy with that anyway. Some good stage points today, some good racing all around, and a good finish in the end, which is a bonus for me. So pretty happy with that.
I'm pretty happy for you. Yeah, that's that. We were kind of robbed of that second stage battle between you and the 21 getter. I really saw that, or the 6-car correction. Really thought that was going to be something to watch. But with Phoenix being a track that really tests your patience and your skill, what do you think was the biggest challenge you faced today, and how did you overcome it to secure the strong finish?
His biggest challenge, I think, we might as well call this the Dirty Air 400 or whatever it is, because that's pretty much the biggest challenge for me. I mean, staying close towards the front is such a big advantage, particularly if you're the lead car. But the closer towards the front you are, the best shot you're giving yourself to be in with a shot, because of the cleaner air, or the clean air if you're in first, like with John and Patrick today. So just had to look for the clean air, try and stick the nose into some holes where there was fresh air, and look after the tyre that way, and try and make some moves towards the end of the stages, or the end of tyre sets. So that's pretty much the hardest thing for me today, I think.
Oh, you did a great job getting through that. But before we let you go, next week we head to Las Vegas. First, I want to ask, how do you feel about your chances going to Vegas? And do you have some luck on your side for Vegas? And also, do you have anyone you'd like to shout out or thank for helping you get this strong finish today as well?
Yeah, well, Vegas, I've gone okay there before. John's really strong there, so he'll probably do really well again. But last time we raced there on 100% Cup, John took off on the last stage, I think, and I tried to go with him, and it just didn't happen. Then I ended up getting run over by everyone with 10 laps to go or something in the tyre stint. So I'll try and take from that what I learnt that day and do better next week and see how we go. But I just want to thank all you guys for today, for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to all the drivers for coming out for a great race today with hardly any yellows. I think that's probably the best spring Phoenix race we've had in this league, or the other iterations of this league. So it's a really good job by everyone. Thanks to Bobby and Bryson and Taylor for putting on the league and admitting it all. And shout out to Neil, who isn't here today, but thanks to Nolan for doing a great job for us in filling in.
I am so happy for you. Congratulations on the second place spot. And we'll see you next week when we go to Vegas, and hopefully you'll bring some luck over there to those casinos, okay? Well, I hope you have a good one, okay?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers
Cheers, guys.
crossed. All right. Yep. All right, back to you, Justin.
Andrew Giants coming away second spot tonight. Nolan Hudson came away in the third spot. Nolan backing up some speed. You showcased Atlanta with the top 3 run here at Phoenix. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I really was kind of nervous there at the beginning because the track temp was really high at around 101, 102 around there at the beginning of the race, which was a lot higher than we've been running it all week for the officials and whatnot. But I think I really pulled through very good. Trying to conserve the right rear most of the race. But in the end there, I put myself in a good position and pulled away with a P3.
Overall as well, how was it trying to come back from that penalty you had for the lane violation for one of the restarts? What was it like trying to go from essentially the 20s and 30s to get back to where you were to be able to finish the race?
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of nervous because, obviously this pit road isn't short. So, I was pulling through there and saw that Gitter was only, 4 seconds behind me. And when you're at the beginning of a, however long stage, that's kind of nerve-wracking. But, I was able to get a couple of really good breaks with that caution about a lap after I pulled out of the pit road. And then, a few of the cars wadded up in front of me. I was able to get through that. But other than that, I was worried that, with the way Phoenix is on iRacing, that, I was going to get, so far up the field and just be stuck there because, dirty air is a really big thing at Phoenix. But luckily I was able to pounce on some mistakes that other people had. I did get a bit, physical with DeCiani there, but, all is fair, all is racing. But other than that, it was a good March there.
Your thoughts on Vegas coming up next week?
Oh, I'm really excited about Vegas. Sometimes it does tend to be a little pack racy, which, honestly I could do without. But, it's more the traditional mile and a half that I prefer. It's crazy that we're 4 races into the season. We haven't had one of those yet, but we'll be going there. And I've seen some footage of the new refresh that they're putting on Las Vegas with the update on Tuesday, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Hopefully it doesn't blow up my computer, but I'm really excited for that.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, just everybody who's helped me throughout my iRacing career. Money House Racing, Prodigy, Premier, EPI, Team Conti, all the guys that I was able to learn from, and my parents, they like to watch. My grandparents like to watch. And that's about it.
Congratulations on the top 3 tonight.
Thank you.
Nolan Hudson rounding out the top 3. I'd like to thank the entire top 3 for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. Your thoughts on tonight, Kirk, as we get ready for Vegas next week?
Tonight was awesome. We had a great race all throughout this thing. We got a lot of great long runs, a couple cautions here and there, a couple mistakes by some drivers. But in the end, we got to see a driver march from 18th all the way up to the front and win this dang thing. And he's a happy camper. And we got to see drivers go from the front to the back and then come right back up to the front and recover well. We got to see a great battle for the lead, almost a great stage finish there for the second stage. But moving on to next week, we got Vegas, March 15th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gonna be awesome there. Like how Nolan said earlier, you heard him say they can get pack racy. So a very super speedway-like in a way for a short period of time before the tires start falling off. But with this refresh that we got coming up next week, that's gonna put a little different feel into that race. And I'm excited to see what the new track will look like as we're getting ready to go. It's gonna be a lot of fun and cannot wait for next week.
Should be an interesting time, but it's just about time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for tonight's coverage of the Full-Length Cup Challenge here from Phoenix. Calling the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Kirk Mills. DJ Lyon was our producer. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's racing action. Hope you stay tuned to our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time when we go racing from Vegas and a refresh version of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Jonathan Delaney, your winner from Phoenix.